Welcome. It's another new time again. That Captain America?
Yeah.
That
I
was a
love
Captain
that.
America mug. I got a mug, but it's not
Despite
quite
the
as
fact
cool.
that you're all the way across an ocean. But
It's
yeah,
my biggest mug.
Really?
Hey, Rich, big mugs are key. Like I have probably equal number of thin, small mugs and big mugs. I never use the small ones. What's the point?
See, my go-to is a conical big mug. That's the pinnacle of mugs. But
Of course.
I thought we were going to be here for a while, so I went with my biggest mug I have.
That's what I got. I got my tea ready to go, so watch out. The hot takes are coming in hot today.
But yeah, no, we should be here for a while. There will be so this show, as everyone knows, there has been countless changes. Many changes, lots of changes. I don't want to say like turmoil, but it's been it's been a little bit of a rough go for me. Over the last month and a half. I lost both of my co-hosts actually back to back. There was one show where they were both there, Cal and Addison, and then they never came back. Don't worry. I missed them, but the show must go on. And then there's been a lot of things with changing the time of the show, co-hosts in and out, and all of that. So, moving forward, I do think finally we have found the time that the show is going to start, which is 6:30 Eastern. And then I think that we're finally going to accept that we can't do 3-hour shows. I mean, good.
It's completely capable. We're capable.
Good. I actually do it every Monday.
Yeah.
But it just isn't. I don't know what it is, but I seem to run out of gas. Maybe it's because I did a show yesterday. I don't know. But we are going to just make this a 2-hour show. So I will try and do better about moving through the questions quicker. Ask your questions as early as you can. You can ask them in the pre-show. I think the chat like an hour and a half or 2 hours before. If you put them in there, we'll still see the questions. But I will try to move us through quicker. I'll try to get us from one topic to the next quicker. Don't worry. I'll still talk about failure. I'll still talk about how, Aaron Rodgers was a terrible pick this offseason and how I warned the people. I begged them. But, some people, no, I'm kidding. That's a reference, which we'll get to in a second. But I was wrong about J.K. Dobbins. I did mention that on my show yesterday. I was very happy you weren't there. Yes, put that away. Mute your
I
mic.
came prepared. I knew it was going to come up at some point. I came prepared. I made sure.
It's okay. I had to deal with an Evan Ingram inquisition yesterday, so that was much worse than anything about J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins, let's go.
But yeah, we'll see how this goes. The new 2-hour format, and if it doesn't work out or there's no demand for this show, it doesn't, whatever. I will not be going away from the channel, but we'll find another way for me to do things, potentially moving the entire day, changing the entire format of the show, or whatever. But for now, we'll do the 2-hour show for the foreseeable future. And I will be having guests, and we have our first one today. So Rich, we've recorded together before, but and I assume the people probably know you, but in case they don't.
Yeah, hopefully people do. So I'm Rich at Dynasty Island. So I've been with DLF as a contributor now for I think 10 months or so. Also host the 5 Yard Dynasty podcast. Over here in the UK. And yeah, that's
it's me. Very far from here.
It's a long way. It is a long way.
I've been there.
Where have you been?
I was there for the Olympics.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Do you go see much or?
I've been there. I've been to the airport layover.
Oh, really?
On the way to Spain. Yep.
So which airport though?
Heathrow, is that what it's called? I think, right?
Yeah,
It's giant, right?
Yeah,
It sounds like you don't love it, huh? It's not your preferred one.
Well, I grew up 5 minutes from Gatwick, so they're like rivals. So Gatwick's,
There's an
I'm
airport
loyal to
rivalry.
Gatwick. Yeah, it's there was a big battle over getting a third runway and who was going to get it. And yeah,
You're kidding
Heathrow-
me.
No. So
Heathrow won out?
they're the two big London airports, and it was like, a Gatwick going to get second runway, or is Heathrow going to get third? And only one of them could get a runway, and it was like a 10-year court battle, and Heathrow
Oh my
won.
God.
And yeah, it's been a
crazy.
sad day ever since.
That's insane. That's insane. So they're both big airports, I'm assuming, right? Because
Yeah, I think
sorry
Heathrow's
to your favorite airport there. Heathrow definitely gets the name value a little bit.
yeah, I mean, Heathrow's like double the size of Gatwick now.
Yeah.
A few years ago, they were like neck and neck and like two busiest airports in Europe. But yeah, Heathrow, because they've given it the extra runway and there's 5 terminals now. So yeah, it's massive.
Sorry for Gatwick. Gatwick, is it? Gatwick? I got it. All right, we're good to go.
I approve. Welcome.
Shane!
You use the rankings all the time. Which rankings?
Probably
DLF
DLF
rankings?
rankings, I would assume.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I should probably know more about those. I don't look at them very often. I look at the ADP more so. I rarely look at anyone else's rankings other than my own. When I go outside, I'm looking for a source. I don't need or really want to look at someone else's rankings. What I do look at is the ADP or the trade data. I can't know what the market value is, but I've definitely corrected a little bit of my process lately, and I do more and more myself and less looking at other people's opinions. So yeah, I very rarely ever look at anyone else's rankings, but market data I think is more important to add perspective. And then I believe you should try to keep your rankings as independent as you possibly can.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
This is my take.
I do the same thing. So I compare my ranks to DLF ADP every month, and then I'll do positional rankings, but then I'll also do round rankings, and then any positional ranks that are like 5 or greater either way, and then or in the overall ranks any that are 12, so a round different. I'll kind of flag those and look into it and see if there's a reason why I'm higher, if I'm happy being that much higher than consensus, that kind of thing, just because I think it's a good tool to know who you're higher on, who you're lower on, and how big that gap is. If you're 5 rounds higher than ADP on someone, is there a reason why? Are you happy being that level?
It's more helpful out in the offseason. During the season, the ADP is only updated once a month. Garrett Wilson is like 34 overall and 1 QB. I mean, that's not helpful anymore.
It's wild.
So
ADP, it's people actually making decisions to draft that guy at that spot for some reason. And if I remember correctly, I think DLF kind of takes ADP from respected sources. It's not just like the ADP.
Anyone can join those drafts. They let me join them.
But I think it's only taken from a select few amount of drafts, right?
Yeah, but anyone can join those.
Oh, okay.
Anybody can join them. There's no restriction. Like I joined them before I started creating content at all.
Okay.
So yeah, no, anyone can join them.
Yeah. So someone can get in there and get real weird. You know what I'm saying?
They could, yeah. I've never actually seen that happen though.
Someone took Josh Allen first overall in a 1 QB league in last month's ADP.
Oh really? I haven't done a DLF mock in it's a long time. I've been busy. Yeah. Oh yes. So
Benjamin,
we have a lot of
let's go.
A lot of people finalizing their draft positions. Yeah. Congratulations to anyone who had the 101. I really hope that you don't get a message tomorrow. Yes, after much consideration, I have decided to return to the University of Texas. Can you imagine?
What do you reckon it would take? What? Talking 10 million, do you reckon?
More. Yeah, more.
There's just no way. I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening.
It's not going to happen.
If it happened at any
Chuba
school,
Hubbard
it's
did
gotta be
it.
Texas though.
Chuba Hubbard did it. What, like 3 years ago, and he would have been maybe a borderline first round pick. You see what happened. He went back to the 6th round after going back. Bijan's going to be a first round pick. I don't know how you could do that.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Oh, here. I'm 5 for 5 in playoffs. What advice? Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, making the playoffs is good. What advice would you give lower ranked teams in the first round?
Advice.
This question's very vague. Like, it depends on how good your team is. I mean, if your team is bad, I mean, I'm not going to spend everything to chase after a bad team just because it made the playoffs. I mean, anyone can win.
For me, it's don't overthink it. Like,
yeah,
I think, if you're a lower ranked team, you're not going to go and trade, multiple future firsts to go and get one piece just to push you over the top when there's probably 4 or 5 better teams than you. But don't go so ridiculous with your start sit decisions that you're chasing, you're starting somebody that's, I can't think of a boom bust player off the top. Quez Watkins over
Gabe Davis. Okay,
yeah,
never mind.
You
were going a little lower.
Don't say Gabe Davis's name. You'll get.
I heard boom bust, and that's the first name that comes to mind.
The problem with Gabe Davis is when was the last time he boomed?
Probably week 7, if I had to guess. I literally complete guess.
It was a long time ago.
I'll check right now. It was week 10 he boomed. Got 21 points against the Vikings.
So it happened.
Yep.
Oh, well. But yeah, make smart moves. Don't make dumb moves just because you made the playoffs. I think that's the best advice I can offer. And if you have a trade, bring it to the chat. If you're here, either on my channel or DLF's, just make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, hit that big red button, and then also hit the notifications bell. Addison is creating a lot of good content. Addison has lots of many videos that I would suggest that you watch. So yeah, hit the notifications button. All right. Kevin Harris or Pierre Strong for Dynasty. So this is obviously coming up because Damian Harris has had a variety of injuries, so he's been missing time. And then Ramondre Stevenson last night had a ankle injury. We don't know too much about it, but it could cause him to miss time. So that leaves us with just Kevin Harris and Pierre Strong as fully healthy backs. What do we think about Harris and Strong?
So if I remember correctly, Harris got actually more work in last night's game. Pierre Strong also got work, just it was on the field a little bit less. When it comes down to it, I mean, in Dynasty, this isn't even a discussion for me. It's absolutely Pierre Strong. He got more draft capital, more investment in him. And I didn't even remember this, but I was looking up some stuff earlier today, and Pierre Strong had the fastest 40 of running backs. I did not remember that at all. He was the fastest running back 40.
A lot of people don't know that.
In the draft this year, which is uber impressive. I just didn't remember. So while Kevin Harris, this upcoming week, if it's just Pierre Strong and Kevin Harris might be on the field a little bit more, but Pierre Strong with that investment and just that explosion, I would absolutely rather have him on my Dynasty team. It's not even close.
I think Pierre Strong's the sexier name, the sexier pick, and the guy that's more likely to have long-term production. And I think the upside is definitely Pierre Strong. I think Kevin Harris is he profiles mainly as a 1-2 down kind of plodder. He's a bit of a ham and egger. I think I wouldn't be shocked if it's like a 60-40 split.
What is a bit of a ham and egger mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I've never heard that, but I feel like
I've never heard that. What does that mean? No, it just sounded so cool. I want to know what it means.
It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a plodder, a bit of a boring meal. It's nothing particularly exciting, is it?
Okay. I've never
ham, egg, and chips.
It makes sense.
No, it's
ham,
cool.
egg, and
I've
chips
just never heard that.
Is not an exciting dinner, is it? So a ham and egger is not exciting.
It depends on how you're feeling that day. It could be exciting.
That's so Brit. That's so like English though.
That's never exciting, and that's what Kevin Harris is. I think he's he had some fantastic production in college. He had a really nice profile, but at the end of the day, when you're falling to the 6th round and you don't have a great weight adjusted speed time, it's difficult for you to be anything massive for Dynasty. So I think it's PS strong.
Also, Kevin Harris didn't even make the Patriots out of training camp. He got cut from the team. Like they didn't like him then, and I don't like him now. So yeah, Pierre Strong.
They probably liked him. Obviously, they brought him back for a reason.
No, they
but
didn't
were
like him.
They made the decision that he wasn't one of the top 3 running backs on their team, and
he wasn't very good. Yeah, it wasn't so good during training camp.
Or they made the decision that nobody else in the league liked him, so they could cut him, stash him on the practice squad, and then promote him.
Well, that's even worse.
That's a good point.
That's even worse. Point. That means that nobody liked him. That's even worse.
It is worse.
Yeah, that's worse.
Definitely is. And it probably goes.
Nobody liked him.
Rich. Like he's a plotter. He doesn't do anything that's gonna raise the eyebrows. But for this upcoming week, I don't think any of us would be surprised if Kevin Harris was the better fantasy back. He could get more carries. He got more carries last week. But Pierre Strong had 14 yards per carry last week.
I think if it's the 2 of them, and this is what we get, I would go with Pierre Strong because, to be honest, I wouldn't start either one. I'm not going to rank either of them in my top 30, which means I'm not starting them. But I can't imagine on a playoff team this is going to be who I want to play. But I would go with Pierre Strong, I guess, but he's not going to rank high for me.
I think Harris is going to. I wouldn't be shocked if Harris gets 60% of the carries.
Doesn't matter,
but I don't think Harris is going to get the receiving work.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. I agree with you, but it doesn't matter. I play Strong.
Yeah. Knowing even if Ramondre and Damian Harris are out, I agree with you, Tyler. He wouldn't be a top 30 running back this upcoming week.
I mean, they played Arizona this week, and Arizona is a sieve.
Yeah, I know.
The Raiders are next. The Raiders are also a sieve.
It's like, would you rather play him or Brian Robinson? I definitely go Brian Robinson.
The Cardinals were a sieve, but they've also lost Kyler. Is that going to be a really boring, like 10-3 game?
That game already had
points scored.
Oh, okay. You're talking about. So last night the Patriots. Yeah.
Sorry, look, it's been a long day. I thought you were saying they were playing Cardinals next week.
No.
I get it.
It's okay. Everything is fine. But in Dynasty,
who are the Patriots playing next week?
The Raiders.
Oh yes.
So it's not exactly a difficult matchup, but
no, it's not.
I do think there's an outside chance that Damian Harris could be ready. I mean, they said that he should be ready.
I think there's a coin flip chance, honestly.
He's never ready. There's always a new problem.
There's a 50-50 shot he plays. And if he does play, he is a top 30 running back for me.
If they worked anybody out today, that would be the tell, wouldn't it? Is if the Patriots are.
That's a good call.
I'm not sure Damian Harris would be a top 30 running back for me. Remember, we got all the teams back now.
Yeah, I know. It's like Cam Akers. Would you start over him?
I might.
Yeah,
I might.
I wouldn't blame you for doing that.
That's the right range.
Damian Harris. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of. It's like
Damian Harris.
AJ Dillon.
Not AJ Dillon.
Yeah, me either. That's kind of like where I'm talking about.
So I'm just looking at my initial ranks. I've got Pierre Strong 40, and I've got Kevin Harris 45.
Oh, it sounds very good. I mean, I have Pierre Strong at 42 and Kevin Harris at 47.
And Rich, let me ask you: if Damian Harris was playing, he would obviously be the highest out of all them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If he's, I'd think I'd need to look at it, but I'd imagine he'd be around that 24 to 30 mark.
Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking closer to the 30 for me, but yeah.
I think I'd have him exactly at 30.
That sounds about right, Tyler.
Now that I'm looking. No, it's close. I'd have to decide. It's really, I have to decide what I want to do with the Buffalo running backs mostly.
Devin Singletary. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
James Cook. That's really the problem.
Yeah.
That is another difficult decision. Okay. So a trade. This is good. Trade 103, 104, 108 for Deshaun Watson and Treylon Burks, or should I break them down individually? Well, that's I wouldn't say. Generally, I find that
It's a
making
super
one
flex
trade
league.
at a time, it has to be.
Okay. Makes it
Generally, I
easy.
find that making one trade at a time helps, but if you can get a good trade done for multiple pieces, you can get a good trade done for multiple pieces. So I wouldn't shy away from it just as principle. In this case, though, let's see. So Watson is worth more than any of these picks.
Yes.
But I mean, it's Treylon. Well, okay. Treylon Burks. Would you say Treylon Burks is worth? Would you rather have the 103 or Treylon Burks?
103.
The 103.
So would I. 104.
Now we're talking, but it's 104.
104. Okay.
Treylon Burks over the 108.
Over the 108. All right. So in that case, then let's say, would you give up the 103 and 108 for Deshaun Watson?
I'd rather have Watson than the 103 and 104, and I'd rather have Burks than the 108.
I would not rather have Watson than the 103 and the 104. I'd take the 103 and 104. But this is very close. For me, considering that I just don't really want Deshaun Watson, and I'm not exactly Treylon Burks' biggest fan, I'll just keep the picks.
My only comment would be, if you've got this far with those 3 picks, now isn't the time to sell them.
Well, that's very true.
Because they're only going to go up in value between now and the end of February.
I also think that the 103 and 104, there is some, I mean, for me in a super flex at this point, it's pretty clear Bijan is going to be 101. Even in super flex by a lot. It's not going to be close. I think Bijan is going to come in as the RB1.
I think there'll be mixed.
It's not even
about that. People will grab
be
quarterbacks ahead of running backs.
No.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, they're doing it wrong.
If you check out the DLF Dynasty ADP, it will happen.
No, I mean that's fine. They can do that if they want to. But
I'm not saying it's right either. I'm just it's gonna happen. It
shouldn't.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Bijan for me is going to come in as a first round startup pick even in Superflex.
I agree. And
Bryce
I'm
Young
not
is
trying to
nowhere
say
near
you're
that.
wrong. I think CJ Stroud.
Bryce Young is
Bryce
Young is scary to me because he's not what you would hope for from a potential number 1 overall pick. I mean, depends on the number 1 overall pick. I mean, you have Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff in that, Jameis Winston in that group. Oh, he's probably better than those. Hopefully better than that group. Not that Jared Goff is bad. Jared Goff's actually had a pretty solid career.
If you take the last, I want to say, 9 years of quarterbacks that have been drafted, number 1 overall, number 2 overall, and number 3 overall, I reckon there's an argument.
It's bad.
Jared Goff has had the second best career. I think it's Joe Burrow. Then
you broke this down before, huh? You've kind of looked at this before. It sounds like a little bit.
I genuinely think it's something.
I can't think of a better quarterback that was drafted in the top. Well, I mean, like Trevor Lawrence.
I'm already willing to say that Trevor Lawrence is better
than Jared Goff. I'm not counting like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. Justin Fields is in top 3 pick, but Trevor Lawrence is there or thereabouts. But I think.
Yes, the recent history of the top few picks.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's been a lot of teams getting it wrong. I mean, Kyler Murray's career has been fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Honestly, for fantasy football, it's been very good, I would say. For real life
Kyler
NFL,
Murray, I think has been better than people think because the frustration and the anger from the fantasy community, which is now only going to be amplified. Like, can you imagine now? I think Kyler Murray is going to be potentially a very large buy to a degree if he comes cheap because they're stuck with him. They're under that contract with how the injury guarantees roll over. Minimum, they're stuck with him through 2025, probably 2026 with the way that contract is structured. They are stuck with him. They don't have a choice. So
I think the problem is that if you're talking about him as a buy, you're having to basically write off most of next year, if not all of next year.
I'm fine.
It would be a super low buy. I think
there are some people who are just so fed up with Kyler Murray. He's really not delivered on what people wanted. And I think you're going to see, I mean, I guarantee you, maybe not in the leagues, the smarter leagues, but I think you're going to look at some leagues. You're going to see during rookie draft season, this trade, you're going to see, how about this one? You're going to see Kyler Murray go straight up for the 104. I think so. Why? I think that could very much happen. And I
could
think that would be a
absolutely
good
see
thing.
That.
Can I play in those leagues, please?
Well, I'm just saying that I guarantee.
I'm
we're gonna
with
get
you,
the
man.
question.
I'm
I mean,
with you.
You can
But you're
tune
gonna
into
see
the
that.
show in May. I promise you, the show in some form will still be here. I will still be here. You can tune into the show in May. I can tell you it's going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen. I'm going to get a question, many
There's
questions
no doubt about it.
about 103 or Kyler Murray, 104 or Kyler Murray. I'm going to get that question incessantly throughout April and May. I mean, it's going to happen. And that means if I'm getting that question, that means that trade is being made in leagues, like, guaranteed. So I'm just saying if that's what it's going to cost. But anyway, for this trade, I mean,
wait though. Wait, just
wait.
I Rich gave the best advice possible there. Wait on those picks, and you're gonna get more if you want.
Yeah.
But I think the picks actually have more value now than Deshaun Watson and Treylon Burks slightly. But it's a close trade right now. So if those are your guys, you can go get them. I wouldn't hate you for it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a question about rookie drafts. I will say that we're not really ready we're not really going to look at rookie picks now. I mean, obviously you're going to take Bijan at 101, and then after that, it's still, there's a lot of stuff to be in play. I mean, it looks like Bryce Young is the favorite to be the number 1 overall pick, but a lot can change. I mean, if there's one thing we've learned is that things change throughout the draft season. I wouldn't lock yourself into anything now, especially it's 4 or 5 months before you're going to have to make that rookie pick. Just keep an open mind,
Hey, Malik Willis was the 101 at some point.
Yeah, that's a good example of what I'm talking about. Isaiah Spiller was a top 5 pick at this point, guaranteed, locked top 5 pick last year. He's basically out of the league.
Top 3 running back for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Hakeem Butler was a top 3 pick.
Kelvin Harmon was the 101 if you'd asked me this question in the 2019 process right now. He would have been 101. He was the 101 in that process at this moment. And he was totally irrelevant. So, yeah. A lot could change. What does it take on top of the 103 and DJ Moore to get to Justin Jefferson? Oh, I mean, a lot. That's not enough. That's not even close.
Yeah, I'd need another early first.
Yeah. I mean, if this said, it needs a lot more.
I'll say another first. Yeah,
at least. I don't want to sell Justin Jefferson, really.
Yeah, it's just like
I'm just not interested in that one.
I'm only selling him if it is what I'd consider a gross overpay.
Yeah, this is an underpay.
Yeah.
So like if you're trying to get Justin Jefferson, adding in another first, maybe it gets you him. Yeah, maybe
Justin Jefferson,
but I'm not selling him for that. So
Justin Jefferson is averaging 115 receiving yards per game.
He's had 2,200 yard games in his career so far.
Yeah.
22 100-yard games.
He's been pretty good. If he keeps up his pace, he'd finish with
how many games?
129 catches for 1,962 yards and 8 touchdowns. So not bad. Not bad. It would be a solid performance.
40% of his games, 100-yard games.
He's been pretty good.
Like a third. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's been excellent.
Man.
So
that's awesome. He's so
good. Wouldn't sell him. Well, I'd love to trade the seconds for 24 first. I mean, that's always nice. But sometimes you can do that, and sometimes
23 seconds. Yeah, you got to get rid of those seconds, man. Like, I don't know how much roster space you have, or
I have a team that has a lot of roster problems. It has 28 picks in the 2023 draft. That's going to be a big problem.
You see, you got to sell picks at that point, right?
I've tried.
Yeah, like
that's the problem, though, is that you get to a point where you've almost got too many, and everybody knows you've got to sell them, and then it's the supply and demand. People
I have started.
People want those picks, even though they know that they want.
I've started telling the truth is that it would make me happy if they made a trade with me and using that as leverage and seeing if that works.
We all know as we get closer to the draft, people are going to get the fever. They're going to get the sickness. They're going to want these picks. So
I'm not worried.
So for RM here, if they can't get rid of these picks, you got to sell some of these seconds. You got to sell some of these picks probably. I mean, maybe you have a lot of bench depth. I don't know, but no.
Again, though, just bide your time. Don't panic into any trades where you're selling picks because this draft class is going to be deep, and it looks deep now. but there's probably going to be a couple of guys that pop out of nowhere that it's going to look even deeper. If we get 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the first round, suddenly everybody, the guys that we're thinking are late first rounders are going to be early second rounders suddenly in May. And I think that once people start to get hyped and learn the names of those prospects, those picks start to become people rather than just a pick. And that's when you can start to sell them.
Yeah, I mean, even in Superflex leagues, even if quarterbacks are second round picks in the NFL draft, third round picks, they're going to be top third round picks probably in your Superflex rookie draft. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys available. Don't panic. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And also, if you're watching this on Twitter, don't. It's only on Twitter to help you know about it. Go and find it on YouTube. That way you can
Figure
actually
it out.
comment, because Twitter and StreamYard can't get along and activate Twitter comments. Over a year, by the way, that they have been unable to do that. So what would we call that? What would we call that? That sounds
Failure.
like that's right. That's right. You're learning, Josh. You're learning. You're doing a better job of getting to failure quicker. It's rare that I would ever say that getting to failure quicker is doing a good job. In this case, failure is good. Wow.
I'm learning from you, man.
Oh, please don't. Please don't.
Don't learn from you?
Me?
There's got to be a couple good things, man. 1 or 2.
You think the universe needs another me? You think that we
Hey,
need
listen,
me?
Tyler, no offense meant by this, but I will never be you. I know that. I know we are different.
That's
people.
very true.
I will never be you, but we can learn from each other. We can pick up on the good things and take that with us into our.
Yes, I've learned from you to try to be more fun.
There we go.
I'm told that I'm not fun.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
I'm opposed to fun. That's what I've heard. That I'm opposed to fun.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
I'm
If
not
the trade's close enough, do it because it's more fun that way.
No. Don't get carried away.
Yeah, that's what Tyler said pretty much.
No, I didn't say that. No, it's fake news. That's fake news. We're gonna have to go to the tape. All right, whatever. Fuck that.
He said it, guys.
Oh, I love doing shows with you. I'm looking for a couple of players, mostly running backs to stash for next year. Oh, Pierre Strong would be a good one. There aren't too many spots, so there's a decent selection on the waiver wire. Pierre Strong, I mean, that's one that I would consider.
He's definitely.
I mean, how deep's not too deep? Like,
Yeah, that's a good question.
Give us an example of.
I don't think Khalil Herbert
two guys
is-
that are on the
if
waiver
Khalil,
wire. Yeah,
Khalil
like-
Herbert's like an absolute going by.
Oh, he needs to be
I think
rostered.
that's way
Right,
above what we're talking about.
My deep, and I'm talking free, but hopefully you've got an IR spot. Rashad Penny.
That's not a bad one. That's
I love
not
it.
a bad one.
But
I think
might be
that's
teasing the
fantastic.
article that comes out on DLF tomorrow. But yeah, look, he's free. He's a free agent. We know he's leaving Seattle. What happens if, he signs in Kansas City on a 1-year prove it $2 million deal? It doesn't even matter. He doesn't even need to play a game. His value is going to go through the roof, and you can sell him for a profit.
Love that.
I really like profits, and I don't like losses.
I mean, when it comes down to answering this question, it's like literally any running back that has any draft capital invested in him. Like I'm talking about a top four, in the top 4 rounds in the NFL draft in the last 2 years. Like you can make an argument. I think they should be rostered. Isaiah Spiller was just mentioned. Like, yeah, I think he should be. He's a good guy to mention here. So
Working his
Zamir
way
White
off
is
my roster very
fantastic.
quickly.
Zamir White needs to be rostered.
Zamir White, I like better. Isaiah Spiller's working. I mean, if he can't play over Joshua Fumble, then there's a big problem. There's a big problem.
Josh Kelly's just been there a few years.
I'm
so
not
like,
familiar with Josh Kelly. I know that they have a running back named Joshua Fumble. I don't know about Joshua Kelly. Is that
Fair
a
enough.
different player that they have?
No, I think they're the same person, but we'll just throw
They
that out
are.
there.
Oh, wow, that's
I think so.
interesting.
I'm not sure.
They must have had a DNA invention. I heard that there was nuclear fusion was discovered today. Apparently, that's what I heard. So it wouldn't surprise me if Joshua Kelly and Joshua Fumble can now be the same person.
Another one that's potentially cheap, free. Dearness Johnson. Now, obviously,
that's a good one. That's a
He's
good one.
flashed in Cleveland. He's a free
They
agent.
screwed him over.
Yeah,
They screwed him
you know,
over. I mean, they extended him.
Where's they giving him this year? Like
They
2?
gave him like 2 or 3 million to do
but
nothing.
they tendered him, didn't they? Because he was he
but they screwed him
exclusive
over.
rights?
No, he was a restricted free
It's just
agent.
weird.
Was he
how they
restricted,
used it.
right?
Yeah,
It's like,
but they
what?
screwed him over. They gave him a contract to sit there and do nothing. I mean, that's if I were his. I mean, his agent tried to demand a trade and then it didn't work.
But yeah, I think look, I'm looking for either draft capital or someone that has flashed. And Dearness Johnson, in the small opportunity he got, flashed. Hopefully, he's able to go and get a spot.
Yeah, Hassan Haskins is not a bad name either. And just that Derrick Henry. I don't want people to panic. But he is in decline.
He's old.
He's in decline. Not like Alvin Kamara, who is finished, done, finished, washed up. Well, he's finished. Derrick Henry is in decline. And it's, I think it's time to consider, because with a running back, the decline can, one day it can just snap and it's done. I don't think, Alvin Kamara, I think that day is actually already happened. With Derrick Henry.
The issue with Derrick Henry has been that the offensive line has declined massively in the last 2 years.
Yeah, but he's had his own issues.
If you look at his yards before contact and yards after contact, his yards after contact have pretty much been the same the last 3-4 years. His yards before contact have fallen off a cliff. And I think that's it, is that he is a guy that relies on that first yard or two of space more than most, because he's not going to be someone that can create space behind the line of scrimmage. He needs that space created for him, and the offensive line has declined massively. And I think that's led to his overall numbers being down.
But he's also human. I mean, he's had
that's yet to be
1,300
proven.
He has. Well, it's been proven this year. I mean, this year he's looked at times stunningly human.
He's still I don't know where he ranks exactly. I'm assuming top 10, right? I was about to say top 5.
No, he's still good. It's just that
The end comes
the
at
whole
some
point.
I get you.
Yeah. The whole point was that Hassan Haskins should be rostered. He's a rookie that had some draft capital invested in him, and Derrick Henry's getting old. So
also Derrick Henry
point still
has
stands.
1,600 plus carries in his career. I mean, there's an end.
How many running backs have that many carries in their career?
None before they're washed up. I mean, you have a few players who last that long. I mean, you have a Frank Gore here and there.
Adrian Peterson went forever, but
Adrian Peterson
is off and on. But yeah, it's rare. It's super rare, and they're all Hall of Famers when they do it, more or less. And maybe Derrick Henry is a Hall of Famer, and he does it. But I'm not believing it.
Okay, should I drop Michael Carter for Damian Harris or Deontay Johnson in redraft?
Yeah,
I don't see any reason to. I mean, you can hang on. Yeah, Michael Carter's not doing anything.
Michael Carter.
Yeah.
Look,
who would you rather have? Damian Harris? I'd rather have Deontay Johnson. I don't see the point in it.
I mean, it depends on roster.
Yeah, it depends what you need.
I don't know at this stage, if you're a playoff team, are you feeling comfortable plugging Deontay in redraft?
Depends on
definitely
how
not comfortable.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like, in a PPR league, he's going to get targets, right?
Yeah.
They do have very easy matchups the rest of the year, the Steelers. But again, it's not Kenny Pickett this upcoming week. It's probably going to be Mitch Trubisky. We don't.
I'm
even
not
know
sure
what
that's a
like.
downgrade.
It's the same. It's a lateral move.
There's no difference.
He's due. Deontay's due some touchdown regression as well. He is massively underproduced from a touchdown perspective.
Well, he can't do much worse than 0.
Yeah, he literally has 0 touchdowns this year. It's crazy. It's freaking nuts. But Michael Carter, you're not going to be starting in the playoffs at all. Like, I just can't see a way you're starting him. Maybe Zonovan Knight gets hurt, and then maybe. But if you need a running back this upcoming week, and your running back slot is not looking great, Damian Harris is the guy I would pick up. But otherwise, it'd be Deontay.
We don't even know if Damian Harris is going to play.
Yeah, I know. And there's no guarantee there.
I mean, Damian Harris was nowhere near playing last week. He didn't practice at all.
Yeah, but he wasn't listed as out until
who cares how the Patriots listed him? The Patriots are liars. He didn't practice at all.
But it's not like they're trying to fool anyone.
Well,
you better watch out, Damian Harris. He might play.
He didn't practice at all. not even in a limited fashion, any of the days. So he wasn't close to playing.
I think
With the
that
Patriots,
I'm
you don't go
beginning to wonder
DMP, and then play ever.
I'm wondering if Damien Harris is just done in New England. I'm wondering if
Oh
that's
no,
part
he's
of
definitely
it.
done
He's
in
a
New
free-
England.
No. As in, he's a free agent, so they're saying there's no point us even having a look at Damien Harris. Let's see what these two youngsters have got. And I
That's a good
wonder
point,
if we
actually.
don't see Damien Harris again for the rest of the year.
I think the
I'd-
Patriots still want to win, though.
I'd agree with you if they weren't in a must-win situation right now.
Yep.
Yeah, Bill doesn't always think straightforward and logically, does he?
No,
I think he thinks he does.
I mean Damien Harris. Is Damien Harris good? I don't even know.
I
He's
think
like,
Damien Harris is at least an average running back, at the very least. You know,
what's
an
even going to
average
happen to
NFL running
Damien
back.
Harris in free agency? Because like guys like this often struggle to find a job because they want a certain amount of money,
Probably
but
like a
they're not actually
1 year,
worth it.
$4 million deal.
Yeah, but they're not even worth it. Like you're not better off paying Damien Harris $4 million. You're better
I
off
think
just getting
Damien Harris could be the 15th best running back in free agency this year. Like, I don't think people realize how good this free agency class could
It
be
is good.
in terms of running backs.
Yeah, it is good.
Well, who's the headliner? Who's your
Saquon
headliner?
Barkley, but Josh Jacobs, or if you want, maybe. But Saquon Barkley is probably the headliner, right?
So you've got let me throw some at you. So you've got Josh Jacobs, Saquon, you've got Tony Pollard, Miles Sanders, Kareem Hunt,
Kareem Hunt is
Jamal
cooked.
Williams, Jeff Wilson, Donta Foreman, Devin Singletary, David Montgomery, Damian Harris.
pretty good.
And then you've got guys that could potentially be cut. Aaron Jones, Cordell Patterson, Leonard Fournette. Guys that could, in theory, be cut, but are probably unlikely. Joe Mixon, Gus Edwards, Ezekiel Elliott, Derek Henry, Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler. Like,
Yeah, none of those later ones.
no,
are going
none.
anywhere,
They're in theory they could, but in
Yeah.
practice they're not going to. But I mean,
So
this
those
this
top
running back
four
class is
are excellent. They're going to get probably decent sized contracts. And then there was like a big group of like 8 guys that like you could kind of lump into like the same category.
yeah,
that-
I would say that Damien Harris. I don't think anyone's going to sign Damien Harris to be a starter.
no, I don't think so either.
Damien Harris is a committee back.
also let's not forget there's probably 6 running backs in this draft class that are better
Yeah.
than Damian Harris.
Oh, I agree with that.
Like, so
No,
we're saying
Damian
Damian
Harris-
Harris is maybe the 20th best available back.
I think
in this
Damien Harris is
offseason?
best case
Well, that's
scenario.
if he's the 15th best free agent. Where
Yeah.
it sounded like he was probably more around 9 or 10. I don't
His
know. I'm
best
just going
case
off of
scenario is probably signing as like, what signing in LA as not the Rams, the Chargers.
His dream scenario is James Conner 2 years ago when he signed in Arizona.
Yeah, but that's not.
Signs as a 1B type back, but something happens to the 1A, gets work, gets a second deal. James Conner's contract that first year in Arizona was 1 year. I think it was like 1.5 million.
1.5
It was
million. Yeah, it
pretty-
was nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty much the minimum.
You could always sign in Kansas City.
He like
We're just going to keep every back, every receiver. It's just, link him to Kansas City. his
Well, why
dynasty value
not?
goes
Yeah,
up.
why not? Why not?
there are a lot of
I heard a
quite
rumor
few
that
teams that would be looking
DeAndre
for running
Hopkins was
backs.
going to be traded to the Chiefs.
I mean,
I think
so,
Arizona's going to blow it up. Why not?
like you could see him
don't
finding
have a
himself
choice.
like they don't sign Miles Sanders because he wants too much money, and the Eagles sign him, and it's just part of like that gain. It's not a good situation for him. Like I'm just saying, like you could see something like that happen, right? But maybe it does end up being good for him if he's the best.
I think the Eagles have bigger plans.
I don't think they would give him a lot of money though. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not that.
Yeah.
I
And
I think
maybe you would go there
Tyler's
because it's a good team.
suggesting that they're going to draft Bijan.
that would be nice. I mean, they picked 5th overall. Seems like a high price, but you never know.
Maybe
I
if they
think they're
trade
drafting
back,
the-
I think.
D lineman. That's where they're going.
Yeah, they've signed like 3 D linemen over the course of the season. They obviously think that's a point they're lacking in.
Are you dropping Jalen Warren in Dynasty for Pierre Strong or Jordan Mason?
I'm not dropping Jalen Warren.
Jordan Mason raises my eyebrows, but in Dynasty, Jalen Warren's just proven so
He's-
much throughout the season. I think he's a
he's-
better running back.
Yeah, Pierce Strong and Jordan Mason face an incredibly uphill battle to be the number 2 running back on their team next year.
Yeah.
Whereas
Hear what
Jaylen
he's
Warren,
saying. The number 2 running back. They face an uphill battle to be the number 2 running back.
well, yeah, I mean, all of these teams have entrenched what I would call entrenched starters that are not free agents and aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're talking about a battle. None of them are free agents. So, yeah, we're talking about a battle to be the number 2. And I would say that, Jordan Mason has a better chance than Pierre Strong, actually. But Pierre Strong is a better stash in a way because, first of all, I think Pierre Strong is a much better player. And then secondly, on New England, if you're the 2 or even the 3, sometimes you still see the field. Whereas in San Francisco, it's either 1 or 2. 3 they go through running backs because they always get hurt, but on a given game, it's rare that the running back 3 ever gets a touch. And sometimes
counterpoint to that though is that if something happened to Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason might just be the guy, where
yeah, but
in New England, that's probably
he won't be the guy because Elijah Mitchell is still there.
Jordan Mason will be the guy for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
Next year, Elijah Mitchell's
you
back
have a starter is what I'm trying to say. Pierre Strong, you're never
but this
going
is
to want to start
Dynasty.
the second or third guy.
After 3 weeks, we're looking
But you're never
going to
want to start the second or third guy.
No, but after 3 weeks,
I don't
we're
wanna say
looking at this
never.
very differently. After 3 weeks, it doesn't matter. Like, it's the question
But
isn't
you're looking for a guy that
no, but that's not
potentially be the starter, right?
No. You are. But Jordan Mason's path is limited because after 3 weeks, he's fighting to make the team. Like, he's fighting to make the team. Christian McCaffrey's the 1. Elijah Mitchell is good. We've seen it. And he's under 2 more years of a 6th-round rookie deal where he's been good. Outside of injuries, he's been good. He's the 2. Jordan Mason is fighting to make the team at all. Whereas Jaylen Warren is not going anywhere. Jaylen Warren is already clearly the 2 among who is signed. So maybe they'll bring in someone to compete.
Jaylen Warren's definitely the keep here.
Yeah, so it's not
and in
even
Dynasty, I would go Jaylen Warren, Pierre Strong, Jordan Mason.
Yeah, but that's what they're asking.
I would. Yeah.
That's what they're asking.
I'm just adding a little bit of context to it that, if there's one guy that has the upside to be a starting running back this year, it's Jordan Mason for sure.
Is it? I mean, if Najee Harris went away,
yeah, it would be
Jaylen Warren would
Jaylen
be.
Warren.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
I don't agree.
Jaylen Warren would be the guy, and it would
Benny
be
Snell is so bad that they don't have anyone named Benny Snell. I know of a Benny Snail. He's on that team. He's very slow, and he. Have you ever seen the Benny Snell dance?
No, I haven't.
This is the impression.
Please show me
of
how
him.
it goes.
No, it is. It's the impression of him trying to reach the line of scrimmage. I'm going. Yeah, no, I'm gonna be there. Yeah.
Look,
20.
I don't like Benny Snell.
There's more.
I don't like Benny Snell.
Well,
I don't like Benny Snell.
It couldn't have happened that quickly. He couldn't have gotten to the line of scrimmage.
He's been playing the last 3 weeks, and so is Jaylen Warren, and so is Najee Harris.
So bad. We know that Jaylen Warren is much better, and that's why he won the job out of camp.
No, I definitely agree. Jaylen Warren's much better.
How do I? All right. What am I doing here? Okay, never mind. I'll figure. Oh, that came in better than I thought. That came in better than on my.
Sorry, I'm a little late. I just literally just walked in the door from work, so
That's okay.
but I'm here.
Work.
How's work?
It was all right. I'm a cashier, so scanning grocery stuff is hard when you have your finger busted, but it's been all right.
That's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I had to get stitches in my finger because I was doing a project in graphic arts where we were carving a design to some wood, and I stuck a blade directly into my finger, so I had to get a few stitches. So, and if I bend it, it ruins everything, so I have to keep it in this brace. So my finger
Sounds very inconvenient.
It's very
I've
inconvenient.
broken 3 fingers before. I've had those braces. I know what that's like. Yeah, one I'd have surgery on. My nail's still all messed up, as you can see. The bone broke out that way, and the whole nail came out with it. It's gross.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like a good time.
They said my nail probably wouldn't grow back if I didn't have surgery, so that's fine.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, you don't need it, right? You don't need your nails to talk.
That
about
sounds
it.
like a benefit
need your
to me.
nails?
not
You don't
having
need
a
your
nail.
nails to talk on this show.
You don't
Sadness
need your
time.
nails, but I want my nails. I don't know. It's just there's something about
If
them.
someone said to me tomorrow, you can lose all of your nails and you'll never have nails ever again, I'd be like, deal.
You'd be about that?
What is wrong with you?
Why do you want nails?
Yeah, look.
What's
I mean,
the
like,
benefit of a
So
nail?
bad. It hurts so
They're-
bad that when you're
No,
when
no,
it
I'm
hurts,
talking like
feel.
zero pain. I
don't
don't have to
feel
have them
like
removed.
cutting
Well, I mean, if there was
Okay.
zero
Like,
pain,
you're
there were a lot of things I might do differently. Then I could just
Yeah.
stick my hand in an
Magic.
oven, and I wouldn't need to wear oven
Well,
mitts.
what's
Yeah,
the benefit of
exactly.
that? Oh yeah, well, but then like I'm assuming
I could go
there
out in
wouldn't
the
be
cold,
damage,
and that wouldn't hurt.
but there would be no damage too.
Well, that sounds
what you're
great.
saying?
You
All right,
know,
cool.
one of my friends had this idea that if you were in pain, there should be like an off button. Like, I get it, I hear it, I'm in pain, but just I don't need my body to tell me that anymore.
There
like,
kind of
there's the pain
is.
off
It's
button.
called going into shock.
Well, there's
see, I'm
there's
opposed
also
to
a
that one, though.
physical- There's also a physical condition where your basically nerve receptors don't work properly and you can't feel
Yep.
pain. So like there's this woman that I was
Wow.
reading an article in the paper that gave birth and she's never had any painkillers at all. And basically they did some experiments on her and she physically can't feel pain.
You might know about this one, Rich. There's a James Bond movie where there's a guy that can't feel pain. You know what I'm talking about? It's a Pierce Brosnan one. So back in the day. So
Yeah,
I've seen all the
they
James
don't
Bond
they,
movies.
they don't count as real James Bond movies if it's got Pierce Brosnan in it.
Yeah, I grew up with Pierce Brosnan. No, I'm joking. He's definitely is not my
Are
top.
you that old?
What,
I'm
me?
30.
I mean, when was Pierce Brosnan in James Bond?
The 90s,
Late 90s.
early 2000s, I guess.
I guess you're not. I guess that's not that long ago.
Yeah.
It feels like an eternity ago.
Do you like Daniel Craig, Rich?
Yeah, big fan.
Okay, cool. Yeah. He
I like Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Oh, these are my favorite comments.
Love you, Craig.
They are.
No,
It's
I
true.
believe you. Yeah.
Yeah, my Patreon is the best. I agree.
Definitely sub to it.
Yeah, it's I have heard the feedback that I do a very poor job of selling what you're actually buying. So I'll try to do better in the future. Basically, the main thing that you're buying is the ability to talk advice with me one-on-one. So like if you ask a question on the show, I might get to it, I might do this, I might, get distracted or whatever. But if you buy a subscription to the Patreon, then, you get my Discord. There's only like 180 people in there right now. So something around there. So I won't miss you. Like I'll actually respond. I have 30,000 Twitter followers. I don't get to every question. I'm lucky if I answer on a good week. I answer half. It's a good week. On a bad week, like the last two, I've had skipped whole days worth of questions because I didn't feel well or I was busy or whatever. But I didn't miss a single Patreon question. So that's what you're buying. You're buying a guaranteed answer. So if you want a guaranteed answer from me, you should buy it. That's the biggest way I can sell you on it. Should I activate Pierre? What does that have to do with anything?
I just felt like doing it. J.K. Davis, let's go!
Right.
Oh man.
Don't roll your eyes at me, Hutch. I saw that. I'm always watching. Man. I'm
He
watching
didn't
you.
have that second gear. You saw him on that big.
No, he
Rick
didn't.
Rick run. He didn't have that
He
second
didn't.
gear.
Yeah.
That look
Definitely didn't.
concern him.
No, and he brought it up after the game a little bit. He said he wasn't 100%.
He's not.
And I believe
Doesn't
it.
trust
I,
it. That's
I
better.
was sitting there watching the game with two of my friends, and I'm like, "Is he okay?" Like that didn't look right, man. Like that just didn't look like
Yeah.
JK. He was all right though, so we're good. We're good.
Oh, but yeah. I mean,
No,
I wouldn't
unless you
unless it works out that you need them.
Wait.
Yeah, you
don't
have
to do it
time.
right
Yeah,
now?
wait.
Yeah.
You don't have to do
Unless
it
you
right
have
now.
some weird rules about when you can do that. I mean, some leagues have weird rules,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
So if you've made the playoffs, hopefully you've got a better option than Pierre
I
Strong.
really hope so. I
Yeah,
don't think
you
you're gonna win
better.
a playoff
Yeah.
matchup behind Pierre Strong.
I am in the playoffs in my home league right now. It's in a redraft league though, and this week I had to start Mike Boone as my RB2 because I had Ken Walker.
Well, that's
out.
very unfortunate.
Yes. So there are
He's
some
now out for the
desperate.
year, by the way. So you're gonna
What's
need to
up?
find he's out.
Yeah,
for the
Mike
year.
Boone. Yes, he's
You
out.
need
for
to
the
find a
year.
new RB2.
I think I'm looking at Jordan Mason.
Oh, I like that one.
I have Ken Walker. I have Ken Walker on my bench.
Ken
He's
Walker is
inactive
not
right
going
now.
to play.
It's a Thursday
But, yeah,
night
it didn't seem
game.
like- I don't think
I'm
he's
rooting for you, Hutch.
I I'm in a
We can
tough
ho-
spot with my RB2 in that. It's my main home league. I made the playoffs, but yeah.
Well, once you get into the playoffs,
anything can happen.
how much fab are you dropping for Pierre Strong in Dynasty? I mean, it's the end of the season, so everything. What are you waiting for?
Yeah,
Yeah.
drop as much as you. I mean, because the fab is either probably gonna reset for you soon.
Well, it
right?
resets at the end of the year.
Yeah, it
at
resets at
some
the end of the
point.
year. So
It's just a
I'd be able to
question of
drop-
when.
it's pretty much everything.
Talk
For
about
sleeper,
weird
it
rules.
usually
Somebody said
resets
weird
like in late
rules.
December when you roll over the league. For MFL, MFL rollovers in February, so then it resets in February. But either way,
I played in one league where like you had to keep it throughout the offseason. Your fab lasted throughout the offseason, reset next season.
oh, that's stupid. I don't know why.
I thought it was dumb too. I'm not in that league anymore, so
Good riddance. First time here. Love the Twitter and Patreon content, Tyler. Oh, thank you.
Jason.
Yeah,
I'm saying thank you for Tyler.
I appreciate that. I do feel like I have been doing a good job. But yeah, I try to have everything be good. Darren, 12 team Superflex, half tight end premium, Cousins or Zach Wilson, Goddard, and 24 first. It's the 24 first.
Yeah, the first is hard to deny here. And Goddard's actually was really, really good this year.
Goddard
He
was
not
really
hurt.
good before
He was
down.
he was
And he's
great.
pretty young.
Like Jalen Hurts was able to, it was basically like just a 2/3 rule with the Eagles all year. Like two of them are going to be good, and the one doesn't work out as much. Like that's basically what it was all year, unless Jalen Hurts had a crazy game, and then maybe all three of them were good, or maybe only one of them were good. Like Goddard had some really big performances. He was just that guy over the middle because everyone was distracted by the wide receivers, and then you just got Goddard that's going to kill you up the middle if he's there. I think that's one of the big missing pieces of this offense recently, why they've looked not so great the last couple weeks. Besides the Giants game, obviously they blew up against the Giants.
Now, of course, you emphasize that one.
Yes, they blew up against the Giants.
Of course, you do.
Yes, I mean they kind of did. I mean, sorry, but yeah, I'd take the 24 first
Don't be
Goddard side,
sorry.
and I take Zach Wilson.
Don't be sorry. I got in this chair by being mean, mostly. It's okay. That's how you get viewers. Don't worry.
Don't love
I
Zach
didn't
Wilson,
mean
but
to.
I'm kidding. Relax.
Tyler, you play your role well. You play your
know.
role very well. Yeah.
I know.
I think the
It's-
lowest you could rank Dallas Goedert though is top 7 dynasty tight end. I think most people would have him higher than that. So yeah, it's Zach. I don't love Zach Wilson, but Scott in the first.
I think if you take Zach Wilson out of this trade, I'm still got it on the first.
Oh no, Zach Wilson actually
Exactly.
lowers the value of that side.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
I see that Jets sign. Notice I'm not apologizing for this. Yeah, no,
Are you a Jets fan, Rich?
I
Jets
noticed that. Yeah, no,
fan.
I first of all, I remember that from the times
Wow.
we've done shows together. By the way, I will say, for those who are interested in finding new content, Rich is one of the best. One of the absolute best, despite the fact that he recommended people buying Aaron Rodgers over the offseason. These are minor details that nobody wants to remember. But other than that, which I very heavily begged the people when we did our show together not to do. Other than that,
Rich, ask
he has,
Tyler
like,
about how he thought about Mark Andrews coming into the season.
Hey, look, we don't all bat 1,000. I can live with my bad
but
take.
in all seriousness, Rich is one of the absolute best, one of the absolute smartest. And if he didn't live in England, maybe you should be a co-host of this show. But I know it starts at 11. Before it used to start at 2 a.m. your time. Now at least it's 11:30, right? 5 hours?
Well, it's, put it this way: it's 12:30 now. I've got to get up at 6 a.m.
Oh, that's not bad.
to take the dog for a walk before work. So yeah, I'll be
you
up
have-
in 5.5
Oh, you're gonna
hours.
get plenty of sleep
Plenty
then.
of sleep,
You're good.
yeah.
So you have what? 2
Perfect.
kids and a dog?
Yeah.
2 kids.
I've got a 4.5-year-old and an 18-month-old.
How do you do it, man?
I have an amazing wife.
Props to you, man.
She
Props
does
to you.
everything.
Props to you.
Aw,
Oh,
that's really sweet. No, I've definitely heard you talk about her and your family before, and it's always very sweet. But yeah, no, for anyone who hasn't checked out, it's Dynasty Island, right? Twitter.
That's me.
So check out his Twitter. It provides a lot of actionable information, something that I often fail to do on my Twitter. I just answer the questions and say, trust me. I got to work on that. I got to work.
Trust me,
I've
bro.
tried over the last couple of weeks. If you've noticed, there's been a little bit of a change on my Twitter. I've been skipping some of the questions to try to actually provide some reasoning to some of my answers. So I've tried to go for a little bit of quality over quantity, and partially based on some of the stuff I've seen from Rich and other people who are very good at providing like reasoning on Twitter, which is not my strong suit. But gotta live and learn from those that do a good job. Mostert or McKinnon rest of season? Ooh,
McKinnon.
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 A long
Yeah,
way.
McKinnon. He actually, I know people want to talk about the blow up game this week, but actually in 4 of his 6 games, I think he's seen at least 6 targets.
He's been
in all
involved
of
a
his games.
lot. It
He's
wasn't
actually been decently involved. He's going to be somebody that if you put in your lineup some weeks, he could put up like 3 points. The running game for the Chiefs is just so out of control and just not predictable in any way, shape, or form. But there are going to be some weeks where McKinnon gets some targets and he's going to be involved in the offense. Those are weeks where he's going to be very valuable. So he's someone that's absolutely worth a flex if you really need it.
I completely agree. I think he's going to be game script dependent, isn't he? There's going to be some of
this
those
is
games
not the
where
week.
he's not going to get touches.
Houston
This
is
is
definitely
not
not
the
the
week.
week. I was
Not
going
the
to say that too, Tyler.
Houston is not the week.
Houston's
That is
not the week.
correct.
I know there's not a
week.
game against Dallas, but I think we should look at the majority of the season where you've run all over Houston on the ground.
Yep.
Jerick McKinnon high in carries.
Dallas still ran all over Houston.
Yeah, no, they did. But there was, it was a weird game. Houston, what I'm saying is the game script. Houston was ahead. I don't think we can expect that. So
No.
I think Jerick McKinnon has at most 8 carries in any game this year. I wouldn't expect this the week to be the week he has more. A 7 for 112 and 2 touchdowns was nice, but the most he'd had in any other game was 56 yards. So I wouldn't a lot of it came on that one crazy flip play, which was great.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can count on that.
No.
I have Isaiah Pacheco very high this week. I have him at 16. I guess it's not that high. Some people have him
16?
higher.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
it's just
no,
good
I
ranking.
think that's extremely fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
But I have
I
Jerick
do
McKinnon
think he's
down.
going to have a great week.
I have Jerick McKinnon down at 33.
He's proven to be like the grinder back for their team. Like he's the guy that's been getting like 15 plus carries. And
I will say, next week against Seattle, I would be more interested in Jerick McKinnon
Oh, yeah.
because I think that
definitely.
Jerick McKinnon, not over Pacheco, but it could be a week where if that's the week you want to flex, I just worry that this week you get a couple catches early on and then he's completely scripted out when they go 20 points ahead.
If Pacheco does what we
Yeah.
expect him to do this week, you're right. Definitely not over Isaiah Pacheco next week. But if Pacheco doesn't really perform this week and maybe Jerick McKinnon does, then I could see a scenario where I'm definitely like Jerick McKinnon over Isaiah Pacheco. So
yeah, and Seattle's
for the most part.
offense, Seattle's
That's why
defense
I'm
is
more
horrible, and the
interested.
Chiefs are going to score. But
Well,
Seattle's
defense
offense,
is pitiful. Yeah, it's
but
not
their
good.
offense is going to be able to keep up. Their offense is going to be able to
Exactly.
force
That's
that's
why I
the
like
better
it.
part. Yeah,
they're not
yeah,
going
yeah,
to be. They're not going to be up like 20 points against Seattle. I mean, they could be, but I mean,
Could be. I mean, you never know.
it's a less realistic chance against the Houston Texans.
But I think we all go McKinnon on this one.
Yeah, for me
I
as well.
think
This is less about positive on McKinnon and more. I've got serious
Negative, yeah.
concerns over the last 2 weeks about Miami. Like I don't
that's
think enough people are talking about this. Is now back-to-back weeks where we've seen press man coverage utilized. Okay, there was the freak play and the one big play to Tyreek Hill, but outside of that, I mean, Tua had 6 completions up until the final drive.
Yeah, their offense was a disaster.
I got some hate on Twitter for that.
It was a
People were
disaster.
like saying that I hate on Tua. That I hate Tua.
the Tua stanza, like it's
so
it's a
loud.
weird part of Twitter that I'm
Tua
not a
stance
big Tua
So
believer.
loud, and I just.
I mean, I like
don't-
Tua. I was one of the people. I wasn't
Don't
like a
like
Tua
Tua.
stan, but I was on the side where I was favoring Tua to break out this year. But yeah, some of the Tua stans are like crazy because it's like
It's mad.
he's been bad, especially last week. It hasn't been good.
It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks. They've seen like I think it's 70 to 80% press man coverage the last 2 weeks, and he
Yep.
can't complete a pass. It's basically McDaniels. They need to have some sort of breakout over the next 2 weeks, or I think they're going to struggle to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
do
will
want to
say
mention one
though,
thing. Jeff Wilson is questionable.
Doesn't matter.
If you're choosing just one person to play this upcoming week, I'll play Mostert if Jeff Wilson's not playing in the game.
No,
I will.
I have Mostert ranked behind McKinnon with Jeff Wilson not playing.
Wow. That's interesting. Who's Miami played this week? I forget.
I'll play the starting running
at
back for the
Buffalo.
Dolphins over
I'm
McKinnon
good.
against the
I'm good.
Texans.
I'm good at Buffalo.
That should be a high scoring game though.
I'll pass on Raheem Mostert. I don't want him.
That's
He
fine.
looks
I think I would start him over McKinnon, but it's close. Because the starting running back for a team in a game where there should be like 50 points scored, it's kind of hard to say no.
Is it going to be though at Buffalo? The weather's probably not going to be great.
How
bet
bad
the
is
weather
weather
is
gonna be?
definitely
That's also
is,
another
like,
issue.
Mid-40s, if I had to guess.
Yeah, weather is also another issue. If it's obviously like if it's raining, if it's crazy, then that's a different story. But I mean, if it's raining and stuff, that favors the running backs, doesn't it, over the wide receivers and the
But
quarterback?
I think it's just going to be a low scoring game in general
yeah,
if the weather's not great. I think that Buffalo
Yeah,
offense
weather's not
isn't firing at the moment. I don't think Josh Allen's 100%. I think this elbow injury is, speaking as a Jets fan who watched the game on Sunday, he didn't look like Josh Allen of beginning of the season
Yes,
and
it
last
looked
year.
like him
There's
a couple last
definitely
weeks, right?
something not right there.
Yeah, he has not looked him. I mean, the Jets though have had his number. It's been interesting to see. The Jets have definitely had his number this year.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was an interesting thing. Not interesting, but like Kyler Murray.
It's a conversation.
It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Because given the timing of the injury, I mean, I guess it's
brutal.
theoretically possible that he could be ready to play week 1, but I would not.
I would say it's
I
unlikely.
bet against that.
I think
Yeah,
it'd be
I bet.
malpractice
100%.
if he's ready to be week 1. I was talking about this earlier. I think that this is almost the perfect situation now for the Cardinals to completely hit the reset button. Say, right, Kyler's probably not going to play next year. Let's get rid of Steve Keim. Let's get rid of Kingsbury, and let's bring in a new regime and say, right, 2023 is a lost season. We're not going to have Kyler. Let's get rid of some of those heavier contracts. If you want to move
James
on
Conner.
from DeAndre Hopkins, if you want to move on from
James
James Conner, DJ Humphreys, there's a lot of those heavier contracts. Let's build around some good building blocks, and let's go from 2024 beyond, because
It would be
they
interesting.
need to do that. And this injury has just meant that that's going to happen even sooner rather than later.
What do they do with DeAndre Hopkins in that situation? Try to trade him or something, you think?
Yeah, I mean, they can save a bit of money if they cut him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's I don't know what his base salary is. I'd need to have a look at it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he'd certainly have a market. If you're going to cut him anyway, can you get a fourth, something like that for DeAndre Hopkins?
Oh, you can get more than that. He's been good.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's a big contract. I don't see anybody paying big draft capital for a guy that's
30
potentially
years
going
old.
to get cut. You're going to have to pay 30 million. Like nobody's
Well,
paying a second round pick for a
Some of
30. What is he?
the signing
31-year-old
bonus doesn't
DeAndre
move
Hopkins?
with the trade, so it's not going to be 30.
Yes, that's what I mean. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know the structure of his contract.
So if traded, it's actually pretty big. I mean, let's see, the Cardinals would eat 22.6 million in dead cap. So actually a lot of that. The new team would actually be getting something pretty acquirable.
So it's 22
Cardinals
million
are eating
contract
a lot
next
of
year
it.
if traded.
Yeah. So the Cardinals would have to pay the rest of the bonus. The new team would get a fully non-guaranteed or contract, 19.4 million in 2023 and 14.9 in 2024. No guarantees. So it's essentially they'd be paying 1 year 19.4, and then they could choose whether or not to pay that 2024 14.9. It's actually not bad. It's not bad.
Similar to Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's 25 million base salary, right? And what did he get in the
It was
trade?
higher.
It was like 20. I thought he was 25 mil, Amari Cooper, and he got what?
No, well, it was higher than the 19. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that 14.9 option essentially for 2024 is actually pretty appealing. Because if he beats the odds, if he's DeAndre Hopkins should be a Hall of Famer. If he's the Hall of Fame talent that you think he is, that $14.9 million acquiring option for 2024 that's totally non-guaranteed, that is actually relatively appealing for a team looking at 2 years. So I could see it's not going to be that expensive. But I
don't think you're getting more. I don't think you're getting more than a mid-round pick for him in a trade.
No, you're not going to get a first pick. But like I think you could get I could see a second or a third round pick. I mean, the original trade was like widely criticized. And he's looked pretty good. I mean, he's
very
pretty,
good.
He's looked very good. I would even go. Yeah, I'd agree. I'd even go farther.
Nobody criticized it for Arizona, though. Nobody
Oh
criticized.
no!
Arizona.
Yeah, people loved it on the Arizona side. It was like everyone was yelling like collusion, fantasy football, like veto the trade.
But I do think it's time. Arizona is so screwed, and now they're not going to have Kyler Murray for most of next year. I think that they have to accept that next year is a lost season because they're stuck with Kyler Murray's contract. They're not able to bring in another quarterback.
Would you rather have Trey Lance or Kyler Murray?
No, I'd rather have Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray, you have all these years. I mean, we talked about it earlier. I mean, Kyler Murray,
Kyler Murray's still a top 12 quarterback.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're lucky,
QB 11 for me now.
I have him at 11 also.
Yeah,
if you're lucky, you can get out from Kyler Murray. If you're lucky, you can get out in after 2025. Really, they're stuck till 2026, so they're on the hook for 4 more years.
I've got Kyler Murray, so he's my QB 11. I've got him valued at 2 random 24 firsts.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have him at 11 as well. I assume with the same guys ahead of him.
Dak Prescott right in front of him.
No, Dak Prescott's right behind.
Oh,
so tired of Dak Prescott.
Let me see. So
I've got
Deshaun Watson's ahead of him.
Dak, Taylor, Watson ahead of him.
So then you have Tua behind.
Yeah.
I have Dak behind. Tua ahead.
I think, yeah, that's the right range for sure.
Dak scares me. Dak is someone I think is just has not delivered now for ever. I mean, it's been years at this point. I mean, he had he was great before that catastrophic injury, and he has never delivered since. So you got to go back for Dak to be worth this high end value. You got to go back to early in 2020 to get there. That's how far you have to go back. So Dak is starting to, Dak's not old.
He was just running so much more and much more efficiently. I mean, like he wasn't a runner, he was just doing it and getting
he
you some fantasy
but
points
then
from
he
it.
had that 2020. In 2020, he was so good, and then he had that not running,
catastrophic injury. No, he was just
2020.
He was on pace like 6,000 passing yards that year.
Yeah.
No, in 2020, he was averaging 371 passing yards a game, and that's
that
considering that he missed most of the 5th game he played.
In 2020, he played 4.5 games, right? 4 1/4 games. He had 18 carries at that year. He has 25 carries this year.
Yeah, so it's even less. But that year, he finally became like this elite.
Games.
And they don't design runs for him because Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott take all the runs. Like they just give it to those guys. Those guys have been great.
The biggest difference as well is he's not getting goal line touches.
He's not.
Early on in his career, he was getting 6-7 touchdowns a year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds that little extra bit. At the moment, he's not getting any goal line touches. What's he on? 1 rushing touchdown this year, I think.
Yeah, Dak hasn't been good this year at all.
No, he's been very
good at all.
No, he's been very disappointing. Yeah, it's just really been that good, and they just love giving Pollard and Zeke the ball in goal line situations, not letting Dak run the football.
That's why I'd rather have Kyler over Dak. Mostly because Kyler's 4 years younger. Yeah, if they were the same age, I'd rather have Dak. But they're not. And you do get to a point where you start, not that Dak is old, because he's not. I mean, he turns 30 in the offseason. That's not old. Yeah. But you do start to get to a point where if you're Justin Herbert, if you're Lamar Jackson, I mean, how many not so great years as Lamar Jackson had, yet he's still valued so highly. Whereas, when you're older and then old, you don't get to make that same mistake. What's happened to Aaron Rodgers now? The value's gone. All it took was 1 bad year. Now the value's gone and it's never coming back. So what's Russell Wilson? It's not going back to where it was ever.
No,
never ever going to go back to that value. You don't get a mistake. You don't get a mulligan when you're old. You don't get to have a bad year. So that's why I would still rather have Kyler, just because he has that insulation. 1 more bad year from Dak, and I think we're looking at him in a totally different light. We're looking at him in the Carr, range of value.
Yeah.
So he's
absolutely.
one more mistake away from losing most of the value he has left. Not that he would be useless, but he'd be in a completely different group. Whereas Kyler still has the time on his side. That's why I'd rather have Kyler over Dak.
Yeah, definitely agree there.
It's tough though at quarterback. Quarterback is very thin. You know,
It is. It's
very
like
thin.
It's
That's why I want
gonna
those
get
elite
thinner this
guys.
offseason.
I've noticed that in fantasy. We've kind of noticed that this year in fantasy too. It's been weird this year. The quarterback position's been like weirdly thin, and it has
Very top heavy. And Geno Smith.
Yeah. And Geno Smith. Yeah.
Geno Smith has been very good.
Bronco, is he for real?
I'm gonna say yes.
I think he is.
I'm gonna say
He
yes.
passes the eye test. He passes the eye test. He looks good. He just looks good.
What are we classing as for real though? Like, are you saying he's a top 12 dynasty tight end?
I don't think so.
No,
He's
but
an
like I
athlete
think,
that has a ton of upside.
yeah, I think he's just like
But
I think
so have like
for
15
real,
other tight ends.
for real is a very just a general question. There's not really a way to perfectly define that. But I mean, but what I'm saying, I think he's a talented player. That's what I'm saying. I think he's a legit talented player that could have a big impact in the future for the Titans.
Yeah, I think for me, from a dynasty perspective, he's entered that interesting tight end that I don't feel disgusting if I have to plug him into my lineup on a bad week.
Yeah,
Needs to be on rosters.
because he's a rookie this year, right? Let me ask you this: he's a rookie this year, right?
Yeah.
Rookie, right?
Rookie fourth,
Yeah, he's a
fourth
rookie.
round pick. Yeah,
I think he ran
Yeah.
the fastest 40 out of tight ends this year too, right?
Is there any rookie tight end you'd rather have than him?
Let me
At this class?
roll
Because
it.
there's not. I'd rather have a Conco
Well,
over every
Dulcich
other
by
tight
a
end.
lot.
Dulcich.
Dulcich,
Give me
yeah.
Trey,
I
give me
forgot-
Trey
sorry,
McBride over a Conquest.
I'd also rather have Trey McBride.
Bellinger?
Yeah.
I have actually I have a lot of rookies.
I forgot about Dulcich.
I have
Let me tell you. So I'd have
Dulcich is
Dulcich over
definitely
him.
one of them.
I'd have McBride over him. I'd have Jelani Woods over him. I'd have Isaiah Likely over him. I'd have
Wow.
Bellinger over him.
Wow.
And I've got him in the same tier as K. Dotton.
Yeah, I have all the names that you
Okay.
said over him as well.
Interesting. I think I'd have him a little higher.
He just isn't. He's not it. Like in terms of, he's never going to be. His upside is to be what? It's like, what's a good example? Oh,
The top 12 tight end.
no. That's not valuable.
That's
His
not-
upside-
I'm just throwing it out there.
That's not valuable.
No,
That's
it's not.
worthless. That's actually worthless. That's not worth anything.
It's no worth.
You have to be so good to
want a
have
top
really
12
much
tight
value.
end.
That's worthless, though. It's worthless. It's worth nothing. So his upside to me is to be what Dawson Knox was at his best. And that's not that valuable. It's not that
If Dawson
valuable.
Knox was playing at his best every week, though, it'd be extremely valuable.
No, it isn't.
That's
It
why he's,
isn't.
that's
isn't.
why he's not valuable, because he's not
You're-
playing like it every week.
It isn't.
I know, but
If Dawson Knox, you can't. No, first of all, nobody other than Travis Kelce plays at their best every week. But when Dawson Knox even
No.
had his best run, it was touchdown dependent and not someone who's ever going to get a large amount of volume. The only way to be valuable at the tight end position and offer consistency is you need to have a large amount of volume, because that's so rare. How many tight ends actually do that? There's so few. And those are the ones you can count on. You can't even count on George Kittle, because George Kittle is just, honestly, George Kittle is just a fancy Dawson Knox. He doesn't get volume. He has a big game here and there when he scores. Otherwise, he doesn't deliver. It's true, though.
Yeah.
For fantasy, that's what
Yeah.
he is. It doesn't matter that he's the
this
best blocker in
year,
the league.
the last like 4 games,
No,
sure.
no. George
Without
Kittle
Deebo
has
Samuel,
had,
George Kittle will
No,
be a
George
top
Kittle
10
has
tight
had
end the
one
rest of the
big
season.
year in his
There's no
career.
doubt in my mind.
No, you're wrong. George Kittle has had one year where it all came together. The rest of the years,
He's been injured. What are you
I mean,
talking about?
no. What am I talking about?
George
I mean,
Kittle is awesome, man.
George
Like,
Kittle had 1 year where it made a difference. The rest of the years, it wasn't that good.
that was the only year he wasn't injured.
No, but even if you look at the averages, they're fine, but you're not winning on the back of it.
He's not Travis Kelce. Yes.
Right, but I'd almost say that Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews in 2021 also got in there. But and we'll look at Mark Andrews this year. Mark Andrews has been killing you. If you picked him this year, he's killing you.
Last 4 weeks has not been fun. No.
Yeah, I mean, so
not been fun. I mean, the beginning of the
For
season was
me,
great. I mean, he was a
I'm
top.
Generally, I'm avoiding these tight ends because you can always just find another one. You can get your Juwan Johnson off waivers for nothing every year. I mean, Chiga Conquo was on waivers for nothing. And I suggested to people to pick him up. But many times.
Like
So many
you're
times.
talking about target volume, right? He could go into
So
next year as the second best target on the Titans.
There's
That's
no
a
way.
very real possibility.
If they do that, then they're an incompetent organization.
My issue
And
with
they're
the
an incompetent
They
Okonkwo-
were incompetent the last 4 years then because that's what they've done the last 4 years. They've had AJ Brown.
He's a
and
waste
no
of
one.
time. If you can get anything, like
They've
I would
won
get rid of
games.
him.
My issue with the Okonkwo though is that he's not even running the most routes on as a tight end on that offense still.
Austin Hooper will be
Like
gone.
he's still running behind Austin Hooper.
He's
He's
still.
He's only
Targets
only
are
playing
never
50%
really
of
low.
snaps.
I mean, you gotta give.
He's
I
right,
think you gotta give him a little bit of credit for even showing anything at all because he's a rookie tight end.
Oh, absolutely,
Like
absolutely.
a rookie tight ends
absolutely.
usually do
Although,
absolutely nothing.
if we say that, then how are so many rookie tight ends showing something? Like I almost
This
would
is
say
like the
it's
first
not that
year it's
impressive.
happened. It's kind of cool.
It's not that impressive
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, but
It's impressive class, I think, maybe.
That's
Greg?
true.
Who's shown like
Well,
who's shown
Greg
us, like,
Dulcich is actually insane to a degree in that he was injured
yes,
and then
Greg
just
Dulcich. Who has
immediately
shown us-
appeared and became fantasy relevant.
Yeah,
That is
I
very
agree.
rare. I've never
Who-
seen that.
besides
I've never
Greg
ever
Dul-
seen that.
besides Greg Dulcich, who has shown us like more as a rookie besides Okonkwo?
I think Bellinger
I would say
did.
Bellinger
if
has
you
played
take
a
him
When
lot
healthy.
more.
When healthy.
Okay.
When healthy.
Well, he
Bellinger
got
healthy
poked in the
could be
eye.
there.
I mean, that's
did
not
get-
exactly.
Yeah, I'm just saying when he's
I
on
mean,
the
that's
field,
bad
he's showing it.
luck. I'm not
He's not
worried
gonna
about
show
that.
it
Like
well.
I would a knee injury.
He's also been needed there in New York, very much so. And so,
Well,
I mean, Okonkwo,
yeah.
you could say the same thing, more or less. You know?
Bellinger's kind of
but
surprising.
also-
I don't really like Bellinger's prospect at all.
Let's also throw in though with the Okonkwo, who's going to be the quarterback next year? What's going to happen with that team?
Probably still Tannehill. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's
you
it's
bet
not
on
definitely.
Probably. It's
not
not
definite.
there's it's definitely not definite.
yeah. I don't know.
Look,
Will Malik Willis ever get
Okonkwo,
a chance?
is he for real? He belongs in a group with a lot of the other rookie tight ends this year. He's talented.
I think he's shown the
Trade
talent.
him
he's
for
shown
any
to-
second round pick you can get.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to
Yeah, I would
me,
do that as
all the
well.
guys named, I mean, Jelani Woods, Isaiah Likely, Daniel Bellinger, Kate Auden, and Okonkwo are very similar in value.
Yeah.
The Trey McBride, to me, is still significantly higher.
Yeah.
Because Trey McBride
Wish
is
he'd
a
just shown more throughout the season. He had an awesome catch last week.
Trey
so that was
McBride
awesome.
is a prospect who actually has it in his profile to make a difference. Someone who will actually matter. Someone who will actually could
because he
matter.
can block. He'll be on the field a lot.
That's not the only reason.
McBride's an elite profile.
Oh, I don't know if I would go that far. To me, elite is a very
I think he's a very
not a
good
term
tight
I
end.
would apply to
He
Trey
was
McBride.
easily my favorite tight end of the class. I did.
that
love
wasn't a difficult thing during the
He
It
was
wasn't
my
that.
favorite
Floyd's
tight
deserved
end,
to be a
but
weak
I
tight end
actually like Dulcich more as a receiver. I really did. I did a video on it. You could go check.
Well, Dulcich, Dulcich has also been very impressive.
a wide
and
receiver
His
in
profile
high
was
school.
not bad.
Dulcich was
profile
a
was
wide
pretty good.
receiver in high school, turned into a tight end going into college, and he's just he's just a receiver playing tight end more or less. Yeah.
Dulcich
As a-
to me is also kind of a sell to a degree because he's already been good. He's valued really highly, and I don't think the upside's really there much.
Yeah, the
much
upside
more.
is so tough.
So it's kind of like he's also someone I'm kind of like, but what are you trading him for?
Just he's
The
on
kind
such
of
a
thing.
bad team, the worst offense in the NFL, and is putting up awesome numbers.
If I can
It's a
get
talent
if
thing,
I
though.
can
I just
get
don't think
any
Greg Dulcich is
second
that
round
good.
pick, if I can get any second round pick for any tight end outside the top 6, I'm doing it.
I wouldn't do it for Dulcich in a tight end premium league.
I wouldn't either.
No, tight end premium changes everything.
Because in a tight end premium, you run into the possibility that you could have another, like a stud tight end and flex Dulcich. That gives him a lot more value. Because it gives you,
Yeah.
especially in deep lineups, which a lot of dynasty leagues are now.
Man, when Travis
then he carries a
Kelce
lot more value.
is gone, what are we gonna do?
Because also it's very likely.
Right.
It's very likely that you had Greg Dulcich just kind of randomly on your roster. He wasn't your starting tight end. You probably didn't expect to get anything out of him. So you could definitely be in that situation where you have Greg Dulcich and he's not he wasn't your tight end. He was something else. Yeah,
I love you guys. I want to talk about these tight ends all day. I want to hit these questions though too.
We'll
We
get. I
should.
mean, if we'll get to them, and you know what? If we don't get to them,
We will.
well, no, we won't get to them. And we won't get to them. And
I
so
want
I
to
think
get
someone,
to them though.
no, we
We do
won't
the
get to
super
them.
chat.
Scott
No, we won't get
McCoy.
to them, and that's okay. We won't get to them. I also just realized I
I
can pull
want
up the super
to.
chat by clicking on it at the top.
That's nice.
I don't have to scroll. We won't get to it. And Scott, I think, was reading my mind about what my next sentence was going to be. If you want to get your question answered, because this is not going to be a 3-hour show. This is going to end at 8:30. So if you want to get your question answered, use the super chat. We'll go to it immediately. Otherwise, we won't get to all the questions. Maybe Addison will hop in the comments on YouTube and answer some of the ones we didn't get to. But I used to do an article answering the questions we didn't get to, but that I haven't done that in a while. All right. 12 teams, single half PPR. I don't know.
You want to throw
Single
it
QB.
up there?
throw it up on the-
I can't. Oh, I have to. Actually
You can read it, but you can't
I
throw
can
it up
read
there.
it, but it
There
doesn't
we
show
go.
up. That sucks. All right. Well, whatever. Single QB, Dak,
Oh.
Barkley, Mixon, Lamb, Waddle, AJB, Godwin, Kelsey. I got offered Chase for Kelsey.
This can't be a dynasty.
This is
Okay.
not-
It can't.
What is
It just can't.
This can't be Dynasty. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
If it's redraft, I'd just keep Kelsey. If it's dynasty, I would prefer obviously Chase
Chase.
by a lot.
yeah,
So,
Look,
different.
pretty easy either way.
It's an
yeah,
easy.
yeah. Good job, guys.
Okay, that
Good
was
job.
easy.
Thanks, Scott.
What non-QB players would you trade the 101 straight up for?
Oh man, I mean,
I got 4. So Justin Jefferson, Jamar
Yep.
Chase, AJ
Yep.
Brown, CD Lamb, and that
Yep.
is it.
Oh, are we
Yeah.
talking in one QB? It's only Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase for me, no one else.
Well, what non-QB?
because
yeah.
Bijan Robinson is the 101, and that's just
Yeah, no,
That
I'd
is-
take. He's my dynasty RB1, and I'd
Yeah.
take those 4 receivers over him, and that's it.
I wouldn't even take. Yeah, for me, it's just.
I think it's
Jefferson. No one
Jefferson.
else.
Chase.
Jefferson's in a tier by himself for you, Tyler.
No, I said
Jefferson is
Jefferson
in,
and Chase. But
Jefferson-
Jefferson is in
oh.
a tier by himself.
I mean,
Okay.
I think
I mean, to
if
give you
you're-
an idea, in my Superflex rankings, I have Jefferson at 5, Chase at 7, and then the next non-QB is at 14.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So
that's
that's
fair.
kind of how I see it. I think-
Jefferson, Chase.
Jefferson. I think you could argue.
Or put it this way, I think Jefferson is kind of, it's really like a 1A, 1B, 2 kind of thing to me. Chase is closer to Jefferson than he is to the other guys. That's a bigger drop because that
Yes,
drop is massive to me. That drop is
Yeah.
a universe. Whereas the drop
Yeah, it
from Jefferson to Chase is big, but it's not as big as the drop from Chase to 3, which this week is Lamb.
I'm
this
fine
week.
with saying they're 1A, 1B in that tier.
Yeah.
That's-
But I'd
Yeah,
But it's
that's
pretty
fine.
clear. It's not that close.
pay. I've got AJ Brown 3, Lamb 4. I'd pay a 24 first to go from AJ Brown to Jefferson.
I think most people would.
I would do that. Yep.
that sounds about right.
All right. I don't know what I'm doing here.
That's a good question to ask an hour and a half into the show.
What's the general asking price for 101? We kind of just covered that. Yeah. The witching hour, we're late first. We'll go kind of rapid fire. We're late first, become mid first, and mid first become late first.
That's
This is an
that was good.
elite comment. This is an elite comment.
That's good.
This is really good.
Yeah.
Luckily, I know who Trogdor is, so I can thank him for the comment later.
Thank you,
All
Trevor.
right. Trade 104 for Eckler or Henry straight up. We're not doing that. I'm not doing that.
No, I don't
not
think
doing it.
so. I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah, that's too much. Have a contender with Kyler and Lamar. I'm very
Rich
sorry.
wanted to say something. Let him do it.
I was going to say, if you could get a second back, I'd maybe do a second in Eckler for the 104.
Still can't.
The guy has Jonathan Taylor in CMC. I'm probably just risking it, not giving away value. If you really needed the running back, I'd be like, sure. But yeah.
All right. I contender with Kyler and Lamar. That sucks.
Yeah, that's brutal.
12 team super flex, 2 tight end premium, 1 PPR, good enough QB2 types. But just gave Kyler Bellinger, got Tua and 23 fourth. I'm okay enough with it. Had to discount it.
I'm okay with it.
I think that's fine.
There
Yeah.
are worse things.
There are worse trades you could have made.
I'm fine
Yeah,
with it.
fine.
It's fine.
It's about all right, yeah.
How do you guys view Pacheco? Overrated.
He'll be the starter this season, and then next year it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
That's what
He's
I would
not-
guess.
He's not
too.
it. really.
Yeah, he's not the guy. He's not
He's
the
more
answer.
of a commentary on how bad Clyde Edwards-Helaire is.
I've said this before though. Isaiah Pacheco,
Helaire.
he's explosive. You know, he's not a great running back, but he's explosive. Get the ball in his hands, and he can make a big play happen. But that's kind of the limit of what I'll say about him.
I think he's shown enough that he'll hang around in the league. Like
he's not gonna be out of the league.
He'll
he'll
still
be out of the
have a
league.
role over the next 3-4 years, but I don't think he's ever going to be a plug and play fantasy asset moving forward.
Probably not.
No,
Probably
I don't think
not.
so. Watson or Kyler? I'll take Watson because he's healthy.
Watson.
As much as I hate to say it, Watson.
Yeah, I want to say
Trading
Kyler.
makes fantasy so much fun.
Watching Watson.
Oh, Dave, that's what we're talking about.
People love you.
Yeah, I love Dave.
Thoughts on Anthony Richardson upside?
No,
Ceiling is the roof. Sky high.
Yeah, his ceiling is
He needs to get into the right situation.
insane.
I don't think he's going to hit it, but he's the only quarterback in this class that I think has got Dynasty QB1 potential.
Oh, I think it's not that hard to be a Dynasty QB1 if you're young.
No. Overall Dynasty QB1.
Oh, well, that's very different.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
over
very
Pat
different.
Mahomes,
Wow, that's
yeah.
That's a lofty.
That's not me
that's a
sitting
big
here
thing to
saying
say.
he's gonna
That's a big
reach
thing
it.
to say.
Yeah. We know.
I just think
that
that-
would be.
No, I hear
a
you.
hot take
I
of
know what
hot
you're saying.
takes. if you were,
I don't
saying that.
agree. By the way, I don't see him as having that kind of upside.
I think he has a lot of upside.
Not that kind. Not to me anyway. I don't.
I mean, QB1 overall is just so tough. I mean, it's like I think Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes are it's like I think they're going to be there for a
It's
while.
hard to break that.
It's
But
hard to break that. It really
yeah,
is.
it's hard.
100%. But would you be shocked, okay, if fast forward 14 months to the end of next
In
year?
2 years, Patrick
if
Mahomes
Jalen-
will be 28, 29. You know, people will be like,
Yeah.
"Mm,
Yeah.
Would you be shocked in 14 months' time if Jalen Hurts was the Dynasty QB1?
No.
Not at
I
all.
wouldn't be shocked in the
To me, that is the range of outcomes for Anthony Richardson.
I think he's in that tier. I think you can put him near that tier.
I almost brought up Jalen Hurts as a comp of sorts for what you're projecting, kind of. You know,
I think
Jalen
you could
Hurts
put
Well,
him
is
I'll
in
have
almost
to.
there.
I'll have to keep him in mind then.
Because he literally, I think if my memory serves me correctly, I think he has 2 games this year where he didn't finish as a top 10 quarterback on the week.
I think
Jalen
there's
Hurts?
2 where he didn't finish as a
Or
top
Anthony
6
Richardson.
potentially. Like it's,
Jalen.
I
Really?
think it might even be better than that. Yeah, it's
And I don't,
it's-
and he didn't.
it's-
I don't think he has a weekly finish outside the top 15.
Yeah,
Like he has been.
yeah. His
like,
worst finish is QB 14.
yeah, it's just like it's not fair. That's not fair to have on your fantasy team. Like it's ridiculous. Like you know what you're getting from every single week, and it's not just like you're getting low end QB1 production. You're getting stud weeks like all the time. Like Jalen Hurts is just he's insane. So good. I think once we see the contract, I think his name will be in the discussion for QB1 overall.
Could be.
I think it'll be there.
Only 24.
We kind of
Although it's
talked
tough
about
if
these-
Josh Allen has 3 QB1 finishes in a row. It's tough to not
Yeah.
rank him as the QB1, isn't it?
Yeah, it is tough because he might.
I think Jalen Hurts probably is getting it this year.
Jalen Hurts might get it this
Maybe.
year. He really might.
He's the QB1 right now, right?
Yeah.
I
Right,
believe.
like currently
I think
because
so.
he blew out the Giants.
Yeah.
So enough about that.
Okay, good.
So I have Monty, both Detroit. Oh, this is a mess. You need 2 here. Monty, Swift, Jamal Williams, Stevenson, and Knight.
I think I'm benching Swift after what we saw
You wanna
last
know something
last
crazy?
season. I want to start Zonovan Knight.
I have
think
these
it's
guys all back to back.
So I've got it
I
Montgomery.
want to start Zonovan Knight.
I've got Montgomery and Bam. Those are the 2 that I'd be starting.
I think I'd agree there. Who does Chicago play again this week? I can't remember.
If Stevenson's playing, he's
Because I
he's in
know
my
that
lineup.
I
the
don't
li-
think
the lines
there's,
of the Jets
there's
this
no
week.
way he's playing.
The lines of
If
the
he's
Jets this
playing,
week,
he's in my lineup, right? If he's playing,
he's
Right?
not.
I don't
play.
think he's playing.
He's not going to play.
okay.
And the
Alright.
Lions running backs get the Jets this week. That's a disaster.
I think
waiting to
it's
happen.
much
and
more
Montgomery.
likely that Damian Harris plays than Ramondre Stevenson.
The only
Yeah,
thing
I
I'd
think-
say, Hutch, the Jets
Okay.
probably aren't going to have Quinn and Williams, which might
did not
make
see
a
that.
little bit of a difference.
Shoot, yeah, I did not see that. We'll make it definitely a bit of a difference. But
Also, speaking of things from the Patriots' perspective, if you're going to gamble, are you going to gamble on the guy who is an impending free agent with his health, who's not going to be there next year? Or are you going to gamble on the guy who's a core part of your team for the next 2 years? Whose health are you going to gamble? You're probably
don't
going
know
to
what you're
gamble
asking
Damian
me.
Harris if he's not fully
Yeah,
healthy.
if Damian Harris is healthy, he's playing, and they're going to bench Stevenson.
No.
and let him go.
Neither of them are healthy. But more than likely, if they want a chance to win, they need one of them to play.
Yes.
Or if you're Bill, you want to see what you've got in.
Pierre Strong,
Yeah,
Kevin
Strong
Harris
and
do not
Harris.
look too
Yeah,
bad.
Bill wants to
Look
win.
right.
I know Bill wants to win that game.
I do
and
think
he will do what it takes to
Bill
win.
Belichick often plays guys when they're not fully healthy. But I think Ramondre Stevenson with the ankle, there's just no way. He can't play.
If Ramondre
Yeah.
Stevenson's active, though, I'm starting.
If he's active, I'm going to play him.
I'm sorry. I
but
just
who
got
would
to
you
throw
start
that
him
out.
over?
Ramondre
I just
Stevenson
got to
is active. I'm going to play him.
Yeah, but
Not
who
as
would
an
you-
RB1, but I'm still
And
gonna
I'd
play him.
rather play Zonovan Knight than either of the two Detroit running backs.
Zonovan
Yeah.
Knight is
I'd go.
Zonovan Knight's number one on this list for me.
I have Montgomery the highest.
I can't do that.
Oh,
Zonovan
I'd
Knight's
go
number one on this
if
list.
active. I'd go Stevenson, Montgomery, Knight.
That's
Swift,
what I
Knight's
got.
been
Jamal
too
Williams.
good. Knight's just been
that is
too
exactly me,
good.
though.
No,
That's
I
what
put
would
Knight
do.
number one. I'd probably put Monty two if Stevenson's even
Knight has
active.
been great. I agree with you. By the way, yeah, he's looked so good.
Because the first 2 weeks were Chicago, Minnesota, pretty easier matchups. I believe those
Yeah.
are the two matchups.
But
And then
last
you
week,
just-
yeah.
But this last week,
that touchdown run.
that touchdown run, he proved he could hang with one of the better defenses in the league, especially against the run. That defensive line's been pretty brutal all year. Like, he showed us he can hang. Like, I trust him full on as an RB2, like a very good RB2 rest of the season. Doesn't matter the matchup. I'm starting him every week until he shows us something different.
Don't panic. Don't panic. That's
Don't
my
panic.
recommendation. Don't
Never panic in Dynasty. That's that.
AJ Dillon or Derek
a
It
lot
Carr?
looks like
bad
he made
thing.
some good sells. I don't know. I'll just read it
Oh
real quick.
man, 10 teams so far.
Dillon or Carr?
10 team.
Oh my god, that
Derek Carr has
is-
more value. I
Derek
guess,
Carr
just
has
quick.
Yes,
looked-
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr has looked worse this year lately than all three of the 49ers starting quarterbacks.
Well, no, lately Derek Carr's looked okay.
He's been a mixed
I'm gonna
bag,
take-
I would say.
I'm going to take the starting quarterback of the New York Jets in 2023 over.
Oh, I think that's very possible.
I would not be surprised by that at all. Wow, that's
Derek
interesting.
Carr's had a down year for sure.
But like
Very much so.
it would seem crazy to me if he wasn't the starting quarterback somewhere next year.
I agree with
It'd be
that.
crazy.
No,
100%.
he's going to start in the league.
He's going to
It's
start
just
in the
not
league.
gonna be very
We're not
good.
at that point yet with Derek Carr.
So
No.
if
He's
he's starting
still-
quarterback
he's still
or
a
AJ
top-
Dillon, who might be a backup running back. I'll go Derek.
Carr is still a top 15 NFL quarterback
Not this year.
right now.
Not with his
This
play
year he
this
hasn't
year.
played
No.
that way.
Not
I
if
still think he's there.
no.
if you
I
made
mean,
me
his
rank
performance says
the
otherwise.
top 15
I mean, he's
quarterbacks,
been inaccurate.
Probably
A lot
finds
more
his way in there.
interceptions
Because the
versus
quarterback
touchdowns.
positions are
He has not
shallow
been top
now.
15 this year.
This
I do
year's
think
not
it's
been
still
top
in there though.
but
I think it's still in there. He doesn't look like cooked like Russell Wilson has looked. I think it's just not coming together. I think a lot of it's on the coaching. It's on the coaching. It's on the scheme.
Yeah,
Derek
it's
Carr
been weird.
himself doesn't look washed. He doesn't look cooked. But based on his numbers, he has not delivered this year. He has not been good. So, but I do think that teams will see a body of work and that he's not necessarily in decline. So I do think obviously he's going to be a starter somewhere. I do think the Jets are a great possibility. I think the Jets have a lot of talent on their team, but they're missing a quarterback. And I think Derek Carr would turn them into a contending roster almost immediately. So I don't hate that idea at all.
yeah.
But we're not at the point where Derek Carr is not going to be a starter. We're well.
No, he's
we're
gonna start
still-
the NFL.
He would need to have. I think though we are at a point where going into next year, if we could start to have that conversation, if it's another bad year of him falling
Yeah, we
out of
can.
the starting quarterback range and into more of a bridge quarterback in 2020.
Kind of like Carson Wentz is good. Kind of like
Carson Wentz has been out of
become-
that conversation for me for many years.
Yeah, he like he's become.
I call him Carson failure for a reason.
He is Carson failure, or maybe Matt Ryan in that conversation as well.
Matt Ryan's older though.
I think the contracts,
both of these
the
put there.
contract's worth throwing in as well because Derek Carr, like
Yes, that,
when
that
getting
contract.
up towards 50 million, what's Derek Carr's contract? Off the top of my head, I want to say it's 25 mil a year.
Not
Like
that much, yeah.
that's pretty palatable.
Yeah, I mean, almost none of it's guaranteed though.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, this is the most ridiculous thing: is that he signed a contract extension in the offseason with no more guaranteed money.
Yeah, it was a very team-friendly deal,
They gave him a no
Yeah,
trade
it
clause. That
was.
was basically the only thing that he got.
which I'm sure
Yeah,
he'll
that was
waive.
it. Yeah.
Okay. So I have 2 running back slots and 5 running backs. ETN, Rashad White, Latavius Murray, Foreman, Dobbins. And then there's a wide receiver flex spot, apparently.
You got to keep going with ETN, in my opinion.
I'm going to ride with ETN as much as I don't like it.
Yeah.
Volume's there.
Then it
but
gets
the play
interesting,
time is there.
actually. I'm looking at the
And then the other
rankings.
one, I have
I
it
think I
close.
have Dobbins
between-
ranked the highest.
I do as
Yeah,
well.
I'm Dobbins. As
White
well.
is very close. The
Yeah.
others are way lower.
So, who should I start? I have Pittman, Amon-Ra, and Mike Williams.
Well, I don't know how
Wide
many of these
receiver
you get to
flex.
start, but
Well, you're starting. Well,
I'm on Raw for
You
sure.
have 2
Pittman-
RB slots and 5 RBs. You have 2 running
So-
backs to start.
So
Wow.
he's
that-
Yeah,
saying
but
he's
what- there's
already
a-
starting Pittman, St. Brown, and Williams, and he
Yes,
needs to
that's what
run
he's
it.
trying-
and you're going
Oh.
to keep Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Mike Williams in there.
yes, definitely.
Maybe you consider Pittman like taking out of your lineup.
I'd
He has-
consider
Well-
taking Pittman out for White. Pittman really hasn't been it at all.
No,
No.
he doesn't.
What do we
Bad.
think about Dobbins though? What do we think about like
Oh, Dobbins is I have second on that list.
You think
Yeah.
Dobbins is second? So
Yeah,
who's
ETN
first? ETN's first.
ETN.
Oh, good lord. Oh, ETN. I don't want to
Oh.
start ETN. I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
start.
I
Like, I don't.
I
There's
understand.
there's zero part of me that wants to start Travis Etienne.
If you look at these names,
Done.
though, it's just like who has the most guaranteed, like they're going to get the most guaranteed work. It's ETN, in my opinion, for sure, like by far. I don't know.
I
That's
don't know if
ETN.
that's. I don't
And then-
know if that's true.
He always has
It
the
is
chance to get the big play. You know, he's a big play guy. So it'd be ETN, Dobbins, and I think I'm going to just keep rolling with Pittman, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Mike Williams myself.
Pittman
I
is
agree.
so bad.
I know, but who are you? So you'd play Rashad White over Pittman?
I
You know it's going to be a split with Rashad White
I know.
and Fournette still. So it's like
know.
It,
But
it's
Pittman's
like,
been
does
outproduced by
Rashad
Paris
White get
Campbell.
Give me
I
the
mean,
Bengals next week though. The
Pittman's
Bengals
been
are really
outproduced by
interesting that.
Paris Campbell. I mean, it's at some point,
Yes.
it's just
I
a
think-
name, really. I mean, it's just the name, Michael Pittman.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
I mean,
you're
he's
right,
not actually
you're right.
delivering at all. It's only the name.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely
So
right.
it's
But
kinda
they
like-
are playing the Minnesota Vikings this week, who are one of the worst teams
32nd.
against quarterbacks.
I feel like
they're just
32nd
great
in
for-
adjusted fantasy points.
I feel like Latavius Murray is getting
Yeah.
slightly disrespected here. Not really being
No,
talked about
they
much.
reduced his snap count.
I
last
think
week
he is.
significantly.
like the
Well,
Mike
Mike
Boone
Boone's
factor.
gone.
Mike Boone, yeah,
Mike Boone's gone.
and
Guys.
probably no Russell Wilson.
Marlon
that's
Mack
not
Who are they
better.
playing this
Yeah.
week? Is it?
got work. Marlon Mack got work. last
Marlon
week.
Mack got more work.
He got like
last
5
week.
touches.
I
Yeah,
know, but
yeah.
he was out there on 32% of snaps, and that was with Boone, somewhat healthy. You know, they went to more Marlon Mack and less Latavius Murray. What if next week the trend continues and 20% more goes to Marlon Mack and goes away from Latavius Murray?
I don't believe it's more than
Well, why
that.
wouldn't it? It went up this week. They clearly were dissatisfied with
So-
Latavius Murray as a workhorse.
So Hutch, what is your
well, why?
ranking?
How
What
could
are
you
you
possibly
thinking?
be satisfied with Latavius Murray as a workhorse? He's old.
So honestly,
worn
my
down and
ranking right
terrible.
now, I think I would play. To be honest with you, I think I would play. I think I'd play Rashad White and Latavius Murray, and I
Okay.
think I'd play Dobbins over. I think
Wow,
Rashad
you're
White,
that
Latavius
low
Murray,
on
Dobbins.
ETN, huh?
You're
I'm
sick.
really
Don't
nervous
Don't
about
play.
ETN.
those
Don't
over
listen to
ETN.
that advice. Do not play Latavius Murray.
ETN's been
don't-
so bad.
No.
ETN's been just a complete
no.
disaster.
No. They're going away from Latavius Murray. Last
Utter
week we were
disaster.
down. No. We were down to 53% of snaps, only 8 carries. That was against Kansas City. You can run all over Kansas City. 53%
run
of
all over
snaps. The week
Arizona.
before, no. The week before was 68%, then 82. 82, 68, 53. We're going away from Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray's old. Latavius Murray is washed. He had 3 receptions last week for -1 yard. This is not a player you want to play. Do not play Latavius Murray. Don't play him.
Desperation.
No. I think I have him ranked too high. I've him at running back 27, and I think that's
I
too
think
high.
there's one
play
league
him.
where I am forced to
Don't
start
play him
Latavius
because
Murray.
that trend
so-
is saying, look at the trend. Look what's happening. 82%, 68%, 53%. What is that? What is
No,
next
I
week?
agree with you,
Next
Tyler.
week is
I agree with you.
38%.
Yeah, I don't want to play Latavius
Don't play
Murray.
Latavius Murray. The offense, I
Um,
don't care if they're playing the Cardinals. With Brett Rippon, as bad as Russell Wilson has been, Brett Rippon is not an improvement. Brett Rippon is not an upgrade. The offense is not going to move. There are lots of injuries. It's going to be a disaster. You know, they're going to be playing from behind. I know it's against Arizona with Colt McCoy. They're still going to be playing from behind. It's that bad. They're that bad. Don't play Latavius Murray. Save yourself some trouble. It's going to be a big mistake.
I can't.
So-
I just can't start Travis Etienne the way he's played.
You have to. He played 75% of snaps. He had 17 carries. I know he didn't deliver, but he had the
Cowboys,
volume.
it
He was
sucks
out
to
there.
see, but yeah,
You have
If
to.
you-
You don't have a choice.
yeah.
This is just one of those things where you feel it in your heart. It feels one way or another, but your brain, if you look at your brain, it'll tell you the right answer. You play Travis Etienne.
Well, all I know is Rich and I are saying the same thing, so that's got to be the right answer. So yeah, that's all I know. That's
Just
all I know.
majority rule.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, you woke me up a little bit. I feel like I've been sleepwalking through this show to a degree. No, hadn't had any rants really until then. I have Gabe Davis and DJ Moore. What would you be looking for to get for them, and would you be looking to get rid of them? Oh,
I'd be
we want
looking
to
to
talk
get rid
about
of
we want
Davis,
to talk about
definitely.
frustrating. We want to talk about
think it's-
frustrating. These two.
It's tough to sell right now. I'd take any 23
is.
first for either of them.
Oh,
Oh,
what?
what? Definitely. You're not getting
First.
that.
But what
Davis-
about realistic
Davis-
thing?
Davis has been so funny this
Real-
year. It's been so
Rich,
ridiculous.
what about
It's
something
been-
realistic? You're not getting a 23 first.
24 first?
Look,
No,
he's-
you're not
he's
getting
asked what-
that.
You
I'm
definitely
asking the
could get
question.
24. I bet.
You think so?
No,
That-
you're
oh,
too
people
young. I
hate
think you
these
can get
two.
a first. I think you can get a
People
24
hate
first.
these two.
You can. You definitely can.
Then do it.
but I think you're
If you can
selling.
get
I
it,
think
then do
a
it.
great. I think a great time to sell Gabe. If you could still trade Gabe Davis after next week, I think that
Do it.
might be a good time. I think he's gonna have a big game next week.
Please, if you
Miami-
can get it any first, do it because I don't
I
see
feel.
that as
I
realistic.
feel
would
Gabe
love
Davis
to do
big
that.
game coming.
I would
next
love to
week
do that,
against
but
Miami.
I don't want these two players at all.
No, I don't want them.
DJ
don't want
Moore, I
either.
think you can't sell right now. You need to wait until Carolina trades for another quarterback or drafts another quarterback.
might
or
get
does
another
something
sell
at
window.
quarterback. The
He
hype,
has the big
the
contract.
hype will then go up, and that's when you sell.
I completely agree. Completely
Yeah.
agree. Gabe Davis, on the other hand,
But if I could get any first
Try.
for DJ Moore, I would take it. I would take it. I'd not wait. I don't need to wait. I don't think I'm gonna do that much better than that. I would take
Oh
it.
no, absolutely. I'm
But I
I'm
don't
talking
think,
if you're looking to get peak value, that's the move. But a first,
yeah,
I'm
if you
taking
can't
straight
get
away.
that for DJ Moore, I would just wait. For Gabe Davis, I'm willing to take less. Because I think Gabe Davis is just not it. I mean, he's just not it. The offense isn't working with him as the number 2 weapon. They need a real number 2 weapon.
Yeah, he's just like he's literally been like a guy who like has a good game every once in a while and then like just kills.
Yeah, he's
you.
boomer bust.
Like he like
Mostly
and
bust.
it's not like boomer bust where it's like 50-50. It's like 1/4 of the time he's doing well.
Yeah.
and the
No, I
other
said mostly
3/4
bust. Yeah, he's mostly bust.
killing you.
I
He's
think
killing you.
My move with both these guys, I think, if you're not competing this year, is to go and ask the Calvin Ridley owner, see if you can get Calvin Ridley plus a very small little bit for one of these guys.
It's not like
I
Calvin
can
Ridley's
get
that
more.
high on my list.
You can get more than that, I think.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I think you can get Calvin Ridley plus. for one
Yeah,
of
but you
these
said
guys.
plus a little bit. I think you like. I feel like Calvin
Could
Ridley's
I,
dynasty.
could I
bottom is
possibly turn
almost-
Gabe Davis into Jahan Dotson? Is it too late?
oh, I was
Is it too
That'd
late
be
for
great.
that?
Tyler. I was about to say
That'd be great.
literally that.
I'd be willing to do that.
Literally that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would try to do.
That's
DJ
great.
Moore, I feel like you're more stuck with. You have to wait.
Would you rather have Gabe Davis or Elijah Moore?
Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore's
Yes.
Okay,
Elijah
okay,
Moore's finally
okay.
been good.
He's
finally-
coming back, boys. He's coming
He's coming
back.
back. He was my guy. He was my guy this year. He's finally coming back. I hope. Good lord.
I'd rather.
I literally have a signed jersey from
I'd
signed
rather have
college
DJ
jersey in
Moore
my
over
closet
Elijah
right
Moore
now.
there still.
I have assigned helmets out there.
Oh, do you really?
Elijah Moore? Yeah, I have a signed.
I don't have anything.
I have a
I
signed,
don't have
I have a
anything. I
signed
don't
jersey from
signed
his
anything.
college.
I have a signed
from
Jonathan
from
Taylor jersey.
All right,
yes.
let's see if we can get to a couple more of these.
Yeah, let's hit him. Let's hit him.
What backup quarterbacks get a chance? Do we see Huntley get a chance or Love? Huntley, no. Love, I think, will
Love,
get some sort of chance
yeah,
better
more
than the
likely.
situation he's in now.
Do you want my under the radar guy that I think could get a chance to start? Tyrod Taylor.
Sure. Tyrod Taylor? Why?
Dan Jones is a free agent. Tyrod Taylor's under contract next year in New York. I don't think they're going to have the capital
I
or the
don't
draft pick to go and
think-
get a quarterback. I think Tyrod Taylor could be the bridge.
Yeah,
to
as
then
someone
find a new quarterback.
Yeah.
I believe if I had to guess, I find that very unlikely. As someone who's from New York, I would be
don't-
stunned if they don't re-sign Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that'd
think
be. I feel like
You think they'll commit to him long term?
No, I think that they'll re-sign Daniel Jones. That's not the same thing as committing to him long
like
term.
it's like a year or two deal, but like because the thing is like because the
'Cause they
Giants
don't really
have,
have another option.
they've proven a lot this year. Like they've actually
He's actually
proven
been
to be a solid
okay.
team,
He's
and
been
he's actually
okay.
been
I think they're going to retain him because I don't think that what other choice do they have?
Yeah,
They don't have
because
choice,
the thing is, they've actually won some games this year, and they're looking like to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
Like, if you draft a rookie quarterback, you're kind of like starting it over. You have a team that can win some games. If you start Tyrod Taylor, that's a disaster, and you're
I
going
don't
to
think
win
you can
games.
win
You're going to be
with
wasting the
Tyrod Taylor.
talent in your team.
I
You
do
can't win
think
with it.
they've
But Daniel
proven
Jones
this
Jr.
year
can win.
that if they had any wide receivers, they could have won some decent amount of games with Daniel Jones. If they had anything, they could have won something.
They had
I
wide
think that they're
receivers,
going to
but they
retain
could be
Daniel
competing for
Jones
second place in the division right now.
on
Next
a, either
My thing,
1 or 2 year prove it deal. Similar to the one Jameis Winston had.
my thing is, I think that
Yes,
regimes in the NFL get one choice at a quarterback, and I think that if you get it wrong, that's it. And I just don't think that Brian Daboll is going to have his one choice at a quarterback be committing to Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't think they have a choice.
So I think they'd more likely kick the can down the road and make that quarterback decision in 2024
You can't.
than make that quarterback decision
In
this
New
year.
York, you can't do it. In New York, you can't do it. In some other markets, you
Is
could.
Tyrod, are we like,
Doesn't matter. In New York, you
is
can't do
Tyrod
it.
that
They're
much
not
worse than
going to
Daniel
do it.
Jones? I really
Yes.
don't think he is.
Yes, he is.
He's gotten
Daniel
lots of starting.
Daniel Jones has shown a lot of
starts.
improvement this year. That's something that
Tyrod
hasn't been
Taylor
talked
has
about a
gotten
lot.
of
It really has
starts.
gone under the radar.
He
Daniel
always
Jones
gets
actually
knocked
took
out of
it.
the starting lineup because
because he's
he gets
finally a
hurt.
game manager. He's finally what he
Daniel
should
Jones
be.
has
He's a
shown
game
a
manager.
significant amount of improvement. Before this year, maybe
Yeah.
I'd agree, but he's been better. Not great. Not great. But he has had no weapons. Considering the weapons he's had, he's actually played half decent. Daniel Jones has been underrated this year. And I do think that they're going to re-sign him to a team-friendly, because I don't think anyone's shelling. I mean, I think the Giants' approach to Daniel Jones in free agency will be, we're going to offer you X. We're going to offer you X. If you think you can do better than X on the free agent market, go. Take it. That's fine. We're going to offer you X, which is probably going to be,
The Ravens are known
2
for doing
years,
that.
around 25 to 27 million, with most of the guarantee in the first year, with almost nothing guaranteed in the second year. We're going to offer you that. That's our offer. If you want to take it and be here, you'll be our starter, and we'll see what happens. You're playing. This is a prove it year for you in 2023. You prove it. We'll give you an extension to be this franchise quarterback. Not, we'll move on after 2023. That's our offer. Take it or leave it. I'm pretty sure that that's going to be what the Giants are going to do.
Yeah,
because
because
they're still late in the draft order. They're not going to have an opportunity to pick, one of those quarterbacks. Plus, also, they're not going to know by draft time. They're going to have to make a decision on free agency before the draft.
Yes.
So I do think, that, unfortunately, that I would like them to acquire another quarterback, but they're not going to have it really.
Yeah, they've put themselves in quite a corner here because they've won some decent games, but they're not going to go anywhere crazy.
Well, I don't think they thought they would win this many games. No, they didn't. They did not. I think they thought they would be 4-13, and then they would have an opportunity to draft a new quarterback, but they're not. So now they have to. That's why they declined Daniel Jones' 5th-year option to give themselves flexibility, which was a good move. Because I think that they'll be able to re-sign him for less than that 5th-year option would have been. And if he plays hardball with them, then they will let him walk. And they'll let him go to another team, and then they'll deal with it, however that might be.
Quarterback Daniel Jones.
But, well, no, I mean, I think then they sign another replacement. There are other free agents. Jimmy Garoppolo is available. Like, there are other options.
Who else is available for 2023 free agent class?
Gardner Minshew is available. I mean, there are a lot of, that's the other thing. There are a lot of options that I think are available that are better than Tyrod Taylor. Gardner Minshew is one of them. Jimmy Garoppolo, despite the injury. Geno Smith is still a free agent. The Giants are familiar with him.
Seattle, they've been winning games here. You might think, oh, they don't have a pick. They have the Broncos.
I do believe he's going to trade for Jordan Love.
Jordan Love's a free
agent. Jordan Love. Tom Brady is an option.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I don't see Tyrod Taylor's very high on that list, but
we
Jordan Love.
Pretend that Lamar Jackson's a free agent, even though he's not going to be. But
I don't think so. They're not letting him go.
Even though I live in Baltimore, and people around Baltimore are such assholes. Like they
don't know how good they have it, I think, is what I would tell them.
No, I say that all the time. Like we've gotten so spoiled around Baltimore. Like we lived years with Kyle Bowler and Joe Flacco,
spoiled, rotten,
and everyone was so happy about Lamar Jackson. And then now, like people are like, "Oh, get rid of it." Everyone talking around Baltimore is like, "Get rid of him."
Joe Flacco was pretty good. But they don't know how good they have.
I love Joe Flacco, but he's not.
You want to go back to the wilderness? You want to go back to the wilderness of the before Flacco era? That's what people
around Baltimore. If you took a survey around Baltimore, more than 50% of people would be like, "Let's get rid of him."
That's crazy.
It's crazy around here, man.
For the money he wants, he wants a fully guaranteed contract. He wants the Deshaun Watson.
I know he
As a
does.
Jets fan, I'd trade 3
I would-
firsts
I would
plus
line
and
up
pay
for Lamar.
As a Giants
60
fan,
million
I
a
would
year,
line up the
fully
Brinks truck
guaranteed.
for him.
Yeah,
I would be the
I'd
first
give him
one to
whatever he
offer him
wants.
that contract.
Yeah,
People
He's-
don't realize, how good.
he's just.
I would say
he's
though,
just
Jordan
different.
Love though, as was mentioned in this question, Jordan Love this situation is not. They're not running this back next year. Jordan Love is going to be moved.
No.
If Aaron Rodgers is going to play more years, Jordan Love is going to be gone. Aaron Rodgers has the Packers over a barrel. They can't get rid of him until after 2024 at the earliest.
No,
if
yeah,
he
they
wants
can't.
to stay.
They could potentially trade him this offseason.
And
He's got they'll have to trade him before the 3rd day of the league
can't-
season. I
they
believe.
can't trade him. Nobody's taking the money. No one's taking this contract. He has a ridiculously high salary. There's no way
We
to
can
move this.
keep talking about how desperate the bloody Jets are. I've already resigned myself to the fact that the Jets are going to trade 2 firsts for Aaron Rodgers, and he's going to be
No, I
trash.
honestly believe that the Packers are going to go down with Aaron Rodgers and trade Jordan Love at this point. Because if you trade Aaron Rodgers, you can't even field a competitive team with a cap nightmare that you're going to leave behind with Aaron Rodgers without even having him. You're not even going to be able. I mean, it's going to be such a 60 million in dead cap, and there's no way out of it. So you're not even going to be able to field a team if you trade Aaron Rodgers. So from the Packers' perspective, they're going to have the only way out of it is Aaron Rodgers retiring. If he doesn't retire, then you're going to have to trade Jordan Love. There's no other way. I need one at flex. Julio, Gus, or Chuba Hubbard, Dobbs, or Westbrook Akina. Oh God,
Ooh,
this
is it a PPR league?
god awful.
Kind of matters a little bit for me. I think I'd go Westbrook Akine if it was PPR,
This
but
is all terrible.
I think it's either Gus or Chuba. They're both kind of very similar to me. I think both get double-digit touches.
I actually have Julio the highest.
Really?
I've got Hubbard. I've got Chuba ranked over Foreman this week.
Oh really? I don't.
I don't.
Ooh,
either.
that's interesting.
But I mean, they both got a lot of carries last week. 17 carries, I think Chuba got last week. So
Yeah, Chuba saw a lot more opportunity, and Foreman did get injured in that game, right?
What
Is
is
that
wait?
we saw?
Carrying a
Gus,
knock,
I
isn't
think the Ravens are playing the Browns, who are not good against the running game.
Yeah, they
But
suck against the run. But yeah,
I
Gus,
don't know.
because Gus Edwards. The thing is with Gus Edwards, he'll probably get double-digit carries, and he'll probably be efficient with them. But if he doesn't score, it doesn't matter.
needs a
because
touchdown.
He needs a touchdown to get
Yeah.
double digits. He needs a touchdown. Like that's it. That's what you're getting with Gus Edwards because he doesn't get any receiving work. He doesn't get enough running work. If you're not getting a touchdown, he's going to suck. Like that's just simply it. And with how god awful the quarterback situation is for the Ravens right now, whether it's Tyler Huntley's okay. I mean, he looked okay in the
Well,
game.
you don't want it to be Anthony
Okay.
Brown.
But you don't want it to be. If it's Anthony Brown, that's gonna be a disaster. Like that's gonna be really bad. You might get
they were
more
really good
volume.
at handing the ball off when they
Yeah,
had
that's
Brown
true.
in
They were
there.
good at that one.
Yes,
really-
yeah, they're gonna
If,
have
if
play.
Treylon Burks doesn't play, I think I'd go with Westbrook Akine.
I'm going Julio.
That's
We're not talking about T. Higgins. I did a rant on this on my own show. You can watch it. It's like 10 minutes long. But yeah, no, it happens. And then here, I'm glad that there's some good feedback from the new time slot. We'll see.
Attack it.
Go
Get it
attack
back.
the playoffs.
If you have to drop Cooper Cup, you can.
He's definitely dropping one redraft.
Just redraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we just clarify redraft?
Yeah.
Yeah, redraft. Yeah.
Someone will say, I
also,
just,
About it.
Also, another name. I don't know if you guys have talked about it yet, but another name droppable. Another stud wide receiver, Dio Samuel. He droppable.
Yeah.
There was a report. He said that he could return regular season.
well, he hasn't been good even when he's been playing.
Shanahan said
Wait.
3 weeks, 3 weeks ish. Which,
Ish.
yeah,
He's
was
not
done.
returning.
Yeah, I would think he's droppable as well.
Is it safe to drop Damian Pierce in redraft? I'm fine with it. I mean, he has a high ankle sprain. I
One or
can't
2
imagine
weeks to be out.
wanting to start Damian Pierce in the next 3 weeks if he just had a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
So
They
if you
don't
need the
need-
spot,
They're not going to rush him back, are they?
Yeah,
Like,
no, they're
why are
not.
they
I
rushing
agree
him
with
back?
that. I think
Really?
Damian Pierce
No,
misses
It's interesting because
the
if
rest of the
they
fantasy season.
because it's interesting though, if they don't rush him back, doesn't that show they actually have plans for him in the future?
No, it shows nothing.
Because
shows nothing.
Because if they're planning on drafting a running back in the draft, doesn't that mean like,
It
hey, we
shows
don't care about
nothing.
Damian Pierce?
It shows nothing. It just shows
I think
that,
they're
think that's
adding.
what
that he's going to be on the roster next year and that they
Yeah.
care about his health. It shows nothing else.
Okay.
All right. Oh, and yes, this is it safe to drop Damian Harris in redraft. This is actually the one Where I would
That's
say I would like to
awkward.
wait until I found out if Damian Harris was going to play this week before
Yeah,
dropping. If he's going to
That
play, I
one
wouldn't
depends
drop
who
him.
you're dropping him for.
Yeah, I
Because
don't
he
know
was
who
like-
you're dropping him
for
for.
he was basically a game time decision last week. Like he was so like.
If
he
you
was
can
close.
drop Damian Harris for J.K. Dobbins, I would.
Yes,
Put it that way.
definitely. I would do that.
Let's put it
Yeah, it
that
depends
way.
on the shower league. Is he said
There's-
a 12 team, right?
There's-
Oh,
no,
this
I didn't say.
person. This person did it say 12 team or no?
All right.
But
I think we did a good job. I appreciate everyone who asked a lot of questions in the chat. I
Thank you.
appreciate the co-hosts for being on the show. Addison, maybe we'll go through. So put some stuff in the comments, like, comment, and subscribe. All that good stuff helps the algorithm find us. And other than that, we'll see you all next week. And
Thank you.
I hope you all win your fantasy playoff matchups.
Bye, everybody.
Cheers, guys.